So without further notice, let's go to the newsletter. See what is going on today. Where the hell did it
Let's
go?
see who won the lottery. Me. Probably me, chef.
Where did it go? Oh, there it is. The wonderful, wonderful world of the newsletter, okay? Let me adjust my screen here so I can see all you guys as I'm talking. And I can also keep a track on the chat, see who's got some questions, okay? All right, so newsletter for this Monday, okay? Probably the same old, okay? Give or take, okay? So let's see what's going on. Holiday class schedule, okay? November 6th is no class. It was October 16, but it was a mistake. So you do have class October 16, which is coming up. November 6th is the in-service day, so you have no class that day. Thanksgiving, November Thursday and Friday, 26 and 27. And the Christmas break is December 21st to Friday, January 1st, okay? Somehow they also made a mistake up in the corporate office. So we only get 2 weeks break on Christmas. And I was counting on 3. So unfortunately, I'm not going to get, we're not going to get 3 weeks off, okay? So keep that in mind. January 1st, so we'll probably be back on the 3rd, I believe, or the 4th. Classes will resume on Monday, January 4th, okay? So keep track of that. And as you go through your next blocks, hopefully the instructor will tell you guys this. So keep track of your holiday calendar, and also hopefully they'll show you the newsletter, what's going on. There's a lot of important information in the newsletter coming up, so keep track of it and keep up with the dates, all right? And again, hybrid classes. Let's talk about the hybrid, okay? Well, never mind. You guys are all online, okay? Some cool websites to get some relief, some assistance. You have some issues with paying your bills, your rent, okay? Or some other financial assistance too, okay? If you guys are having issues, go there and apply for it and take a look at the website, okay? And again, just how to, new website to help with the mental health issues during COVID-19. You know, because this thing hit and they throw us for a loop, and we went through, we're going through what we never thought it was imaginable, okay? So some people are having to go through some issues because, you know, a lot of us are social butterflies. Some of us are introverts, and that's cool. But those who are social butterflies, it's hard to adjust. So if you're having issues, that's the website to go get some help, okay? Also, too, if you happen to experience the loss of a loved one or a friend, the Christian Center, they have awesome counselors. That's the website to go if you guys are interested, okay? Intra-school departments, again, Mr. Timothy, I just emailed Teresa and I copied you on that as well, okay? Trying to have an answer for you, what's going on with your bank mobile, okay? I sent it to her, copied Mary Reardon, and also copied Chef Pabla. So we're all on the same page as to what's going on, okay? Not Jamil, he's got nothing to do with the financial aid, or I mean, for the financial aid or the stipend or your accounts, okay? So if you guys are having issues with your bank mobile, okay? If it wasn't set up, it should be by now because we went through the first week, okay? If not, this is who to go to, okay? Your stipends is Mary Reardon, okay? And again, just a little notice about how to log in, okay? And also too, where you get to how to get some help, Zendesk, that's the number. And only utilize your school email for that. They will not recognize any Gmail or whatever Yahoo email you guys have, okay? Portal issues, Zendesk, that's the number, that's the website, email address to call if you have issues. Again, you should be taking a look at your grades every single day, pulling out your production sheets, looking at your recipes, so you should be well-versed by now in your homepage, okay? And again, just a little reminder of how to protect yourself during this time, so how to keep social distancing, washing your hands, and clean surfaces, okay? Again, just a little tip on how to use Clorox bleach, okay? Uniform standards, you guys know the drill, right? I see Timothy, I see Leilani, I see Robert Dozal with no cameras on. You guys are forfeiting your 25 points for the daily grade, okay? Who else? And Miss Avery Woodall. I know she said she had an issue with the her internet Wi-Fi, but those of you guys who have no issues, you are forfeiting your 25 points by not being the camera on. Just like Chef Pablo says, okay? We'd like to see you guys there, okay? Because if you're not there, that means that we assume that you're mowing the lawn up in the front, like happened to me in the first vlog we went online, okay? So again, you're forfeiting 25 points, guys. It's up to you, not up to us, okay? Career Services, Jamil Hooper and Miss Ann Derrick. I would suggest you guys, you know, start working on your resume if you haven't yet, because some restaurant ops, and maybe get in touch with them next block or two from on your kitchen block for regionals. When you guys go to regional, you should be reaching out to them and start seeing your options for your internship. Okay, your externship. Okay. What else? Featured employers, Kalahari Resorts in Round Rock. You know what that is, Chevy? That's close to your area, right? Close to you?
It is so big, and they are officially opening on November the 12th, guys. I think from what I understand, they're hiring 700. Did you hear me? 700 people.
One of my Thai interns from Missouri, she went to Tennessee, she's in Wisconsin. They're flying her down here to help them open up the Kalahari Resorts, and hopefully she'll accept the job as an executive chef. So there is hopefully you know, little advantage of getting you guys in the door. So you guys are interested in working there, okay? But
one of my students is going there for pastries.
Yeah. So looking for restaurant cooks, 1, 2, and 3 positions. Again, that's the website to go. If you live around Round Rock, Hutto, Georgetown, Pflugerville, might be closer to your area if you guys are interested, okay? So take a look
It's
at
right,
it.
I don't know if you know where it is. It's right across the street from the baseball field.
From Dell Diamond?
Dell Diamond, right across. And you can't miss it. It's massive.
So that's where it is, guys, all right? Also, True Food Kitchen, a scratch kitchen is looking to fill used key spots. 222 West Avenue near downtown. Okay, if you're looking into owning your own food truck or running your own food truck, that's a good way to start and take a look at, see what they're doing, so you can apply that knowledge to open up your food truck in the future, okay? What else? And again, our dry storage is looking for help too. If you guys are interested in working dry storage, these are the schedules, okay? Probably not for you guys because you guys are here in that class during that time, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just for fun. I wish I were a black belt. My Aunt Lucy is a black belt. Really? Ouch. Get it? Be careful what you wish for, guys. Be careful what you wish for. Got it?
That's right.
Okay. Quote of the week. You are the driver of your own life. Don't let anyone steal your seat.
Oh, God, that's nice.
You shape your own destiny. Okay.
That is true.
They can add to your path of life, but don't let them steal your seat. Okay.
That's right.
You're the only one that can take care of it. Only
Right.
one.
That's right.
Think.
During the autumn months, we will feature a recipe again from the new chef, from another chef. Let's see whose recipe is today, okay? Submitted by Chef Rav. He's big on jerk Jamaican spice. He wants to go retire in Jamaica. Well, you guys didn't get to see him on Saturday, right? So Chef Rav from Jamaica, home of the jerk, true barbecue, pimento wood, basket weave, to create a grill over coals with your chicken covered with banana leaves. Slow cooked, seasoned when smoked. This is what I saw in Jamaica. That's what he says, because he has traveled to Jamaica for vacation. After eating it, he said that he fell in love with it. Habanero hot sauce on the side. Oh yeah, sweet, heat, what a combination. He said develop his own jerk rub and can set it on fire for the best of them. Okay, he calls it chef's magic. That's what he calls his spice. Okay, chef's magic. See what he's got. There is the recipe. If you guys are interested in that recipe, okay.
That's nice.
Okay. I'm gonna leave it there for a few minutes. Okay. If you're interested in his Jamaican jerk spice. cloves,
Grilled sweet potatoes.
ginger root, onions.
Never heard that
habanero.
one. Grilled sweet potatoes.
Uh-huh. Limes, lime juices, lime juice, olive oil, blackening spice, allspice, cinnamon, salt, cilantro. Okay.
Got it.
So he's even got pineapple and coleslaw in there in the mix. Okay.
Hmm.
So there you go.
Pineapple to it.
Jamaican jerk spice. Got it? From Chef Raph, the one and only. Like Chef Paula calls him, the young man. Trivia, food for thought. Simna, White, San Pedro, Brunswick, and Striped Tiger are all types of what? Quince, figs, pears, grapes, or apples?
We put in the chat. Oh God.
I get a quince. I get a fig, quince. Okay.
I think it's
Pears. I get pears, figs, pears, apples, pears. So most of you guys are voting for number 1 or 2. A few 3, a few 4. Pears, grapes. All right.
A lot of 2s, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
And
Simra,
3s.
White, San Pedro, or Brunswick, and Striped Tiger, all types of what? Okay, let's take a look at it. There's a tie between 1 and 2. 3 was third, and then 4 and 5 were the last ones. Okay, so stripe. What are they? Okay, figs. Number 1 is figs. Okay, figs are picked right. Do not ripen once they are off the tree. Figs bruise very easily, and ripe figs can be carefully stored at paper towel lined plates with the refrigerator for a few days. Are the best eaten when they are extremely soft. As with most fruit, it is recommended to bring them to room temperature for best flavor. I love figs. Oh yeah, you can just pick them off the tree and just eat them. Okay.
I've never eaten one. Chef.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Ooh. Very, very nice figs. Okay, so figs was the answer. And that is the our whatchamacallit for the newsletter. Okay. Let's take a look at today. Okay. See what is going on today. Okay. All right. So let's do a quick recap of last week. Okay. So you guys are now very well versed, right? Oh, this thing got funky on me. Okay. Usually, you guys should be very well versed of what a large dice, medium dice. Really, you get all messed up on me. Okay. Anyways, large dice, medium dice, small dice, Brunoise mince. You should know what all those are now, right? We went through the week 1. Okay. If you're asking what is a large dice by this next week, that train is already long gone. You're asking what mince is, it's all long gone, right? We moved on quite along, okay? What else? You guys know what oblique is, okay? Bias cut, half bias cut, slice, half moon slice, bâtonnet, julienne, fine julienne, matchstick, chiffonade. I have a question mark because I didn't show you that technique yet, but we do have pasta coming up. So I'm going to show you that technique when we do pasta, okay? And you also know the mother sauces. You know bechamel, veloute, brown veal stock, and tomato sauce. You made those all last week, okay? So you got bechamel, veloute, tomato sauce. The one you guys did not make was hollandaise. We're probably going to make it sometime. We're going to make it in the next couple of, I think the following week. So to make hollandaise, you will need a stainless steel bowl, okay? So you're going to need a stainless steel bowl for that to make the hollandaise, okay? It's not going to work in the plastic, and it's not working the Pyrex or a glass bowl. That is going to be a stainless steel bowl. Okay, so if you don't have one, maybe take a look at Goodwill, see if you can find one for 25 cents or 50 cents. Okay, I'm going to go down to. I don't have one myself, so I'm going to go down.
Go to Big Lots too. Big Lots, Dollar Tree.
I'm going to go to Goodwill and see if I can find one for myself because I don't have one. Because I need to give you guys a demo how to make hollandaise. Okay. So you guys should be very well versed of your knife cuts, right? And the only one that I didn't show you was the two ones, the sachet de peas and the bouquet garni. Okay, the sachet de peas is the one on the top right hand corner with a little piece of cheesecloth. You got parsley stems, fresh garlic, bay leaves, whole black peppercorns, and fresh thyme. Okay, in the cheesecloth, you cut a square piece of cheesecloth. You put them in like a little beggar's purse, bottom middle picture. You tie them with a little string, and then put them on the side of your pot. That is a sachet de peas. Okay, remember that. Okay, sachet de peas. It's also in your book. The other one is your bouquet garni. There's two kinds. One with a leek. The first one in the middle. Okay, leek, parsley stems, and fresh thyme, wrapped like the sachet de peas of butcher's twine, and then dunk into your stock. Okay. The other one doesn't have any leeks. It has parsley stems, fresh thyme. Okay, and a bay leaf that is tied. That is a bouquet garni. Okay, guys. So keep that in mind, take a picture, note it down, write it down, it's in your book. Because again, once we go to week 3, week 4, week 5 or 6, if you're asking what is sachet de peas, that trend is long gone. It's out of here. Right? Done. Bye. Bye, Felicia. Okay. So it's gone. Okay. What else?
Chef, let me ask you a question because I don't know culinary too much.
Sure.
Is it better to make it in a bundle or is it better to put it in a cheesecloth? Which one would you I mean, I would think that the cheesecloth would be a lot easier to take out with the other ones not falling apart.
Sachet de peas in a cheesecloth. Bouquet garni in the bundle.
It's a bundle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So there's 2 different names for 2 different things.
Correct. Okay.
Okay.
Bouquet garni is the little bundle. Sachet de peas like a little beggar's purse. Okay.
And what's the difference when you put it in any soup or something else? What's the difference between the bundle? I mean, yes, I know there's a cheesecloth. I understand that. But what is the outcome difference?
The flavor. Take a look at the ingredients. Okay.
Okay.
They're similar.
Okay.
They're similar, but a little bit different. So the sachet de peas is in the cheesecloth because you got whole black peppercorns and
Correct.
you got garlic and little bay leaves. Okay.
I got it. I'm num.
No, that's okay. That's a good question because this is what you guys should be asking during class too. What is the difference between both of them? Okay. She's asking, you know, she wants to know, but you guys should be asking what is the difference between both of them? They both offer a different kind of a mellow aromatic that's going to enhance the stock. Okay. But one has peppercorns, one has garlic. So it needs to be tied in the beggar's purse. So it doesn't will go all over the stock because then you have to fish it out and strain it. That way it's in a little baggie, you get it, you throw it out. Okay, done. Okay.
I like that.
Okay. So let's talk about soup.
About the beggar's purse, Chef.
What was that, beggar's purse?
I said a question about it. So if you don't have like cheesecloth or something around, will like a tea bag work? Like if I just dump some tea out, just put it in there.
But be careful because the tea bag is already infused with the flavors of the tea herbs.
Would a coffee filter work?
Yes, coffee filter will work too.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, great.
What will not work?
What is the thinnest thing I know?
What will not work is a paper towel because it'll just disintegrate. Okay.
All right.
So coffee filter, even a little used kitchen rag that you got floating around that is falling apart, cut a little square piece, put it inside and dunk it in. It'll work too. Okay. Introduction to soups. Let me ask you guys this. What kind of soups are there? What kind of different kind of soups do we have aside from the flavor, but what kind? Do you guys know the difference between one soup from the other one? You see in the picture different kind of soups.
Flavor, but not necessarily if it's a type of soup.
What about the texture of the soups? What kind do you have?
You have
Well, yeah,
watery.
the
Ones are more watery.
Creamy.
One's more thick and creamy. Yeah.
Cold
And the
soups.
broth kind.
Yeah.
Those are the two.
Beef, chicken, Italian soups use veal.
Veggies.
You have cream soups like chicken. You have tortilla soups. You have tomato soup. So there's a few there that come to mind.
Okay.
Sopita de pollo.
All right answers. You got like Ms. Landa, Ms. Amato was talking about. You got clear, broad soups.
Yes.
Liquids. You have Ms. Landa was talking about a cream soup. That's 2.
That's right.
You were talking, Jeffrey, you were talking about a tomato soup. That's a puree soup. Okay. So you got, I think about 4 different kinds of soups. You got creams, broths, and purees, okay? Let's go into the world of
Cream,
soups
broth, and puree.
because you are going to make soups coming up, okay? And Vichy
Chef,
Swa's
what was
another
that
one.
again? I'm sorry, Chef. Cream, broth, and puree, right?
Yeah, we're gonna go over that in a minute, okay?
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
even Vichy Swa, even what we call a gazpacho, a chilled soup, okay? Chilled soup is like the Italian salsa. It's got tomatoes, cucumbers, olive oil, a little bit of vinegar, lime juice, right? So different kind of soups. We're going to be talking about them in a minute. So let's go take a look at soups. They're in your book, and I do have the correct book. So I do have the right.
I'm happy he does. I have a hard time catching up with him. Good.
So
So
your
Yeah.
soups
happy.
are on chapter 12. Okay, you should be reading about your soups. We're gonna go through that right now, but there's a lot more info on chapter 12. Okay, Mr. Shannon, morning. How you doing, sir?
Hello.
Where'd he go? Sometimes he pops in because he's got an announcement to make. Wait, he left?
Oh, chef.
All right.
Trying to find the semolina, Somalian, the flour. We
Right.
went to 6 different stores, had to drive 40 minutes away to a Whole Foods just to find it. And they only had one left.
Wow.
We almost had to order it online and get it pay extra to get it delivered because we
Wow.
could not find it anywhere.
That's
There you are. Welcome back.
That is
Hi
crazy.
guys. I'm
Welcome
sorry.
back.
Can you hear me?
We
Yes.
can hear you, Ms. Shannon. Welcome to the class.
Okay. I need to speak to Ramiro Dominguez. Please make sure that he gets in contact with me today.
He's right there.
I understand. I've sent him a text. I've sent him a message in chat. He needs to answer me, and I need an email from him, or I'll send him an email today. Please. Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Thank
Right.
you.
So now you know, Mr. Ramiro, get in touch with him at ASAP. If you want to turn off your camera, go call him, go send a text. Go ahead. You're more than welcome to be excused for a few minutes. Get in touch with him. You can do it right now, okay?
Go do it right now.
Go take care of that issue, okay?
All right.
So here we
Thank
go.
you.
Soups on chapter 12, pages 255 to 290. That's where you're going to be taught. That's where you'll be finding all your soups, okay?
Chef,
Soups, yes.
Chef, it started on page like 260
Oh, okay.
in the book I have.
Give me
It's
one.
chapter 12, but it's like page 260
Let me
is what I
see
see it start.
All
Okay,
right.
mine is page 255.
Really? See?
Yes.
Okay, maybe I have the wrong book.
Okay.
Maybe I have the wrong book.
Do you
Well-
have this book, Amanda? I'm sorry. I already put tabs on him.
Stuff is next to Paco's bag. Go put it on.
So take a look at it. If it's not on page 255, it's 260, then you already have, you know what they are, okay? So soups, but they are on chapter 12, okay, in your book, okay? They can be classified by cooking techniques and appearances, either as clear or thick, okay? Clear soups includes broths made from meat, poultry, game, fish, vegetables, as well as consommes, which are broths clarified to remove impurities. Consommes, I talked about them briefly last week during clarification. We'll be talking about how to, they use the egg whites to clarify some wine, especially white wine. So when you're a true vegan, you go to a restaurant and ask for a glass of white wine, you might want to ask, is it a vegan wine? Because if it's a vegan, they cannot use a egg white to clarify it, okay? So consomme is another one, okay? Clear soups include broths, okay? Chicken noodle soup, okay? Beef and vegetable, barley, okay? Those kind of soups are clear broths, okay? Consommes, like I said, like we talked about, when you're sick, have little sniffles, you grab a little soup bowl of chicken broth. That is a chicken consomme, it's a stock, okay? Thick soups include cream soups and puree soups. You know, we're talking about vichyssoise is one of them, okay? Clam chowder is a different one, okay? By the way, just side note here, how many types of clam chowder do we have? There are two types of clam chowder in this world. Can you guys name them both?
No, I don't know, chef.
Is one of them New England?
Boston and New England.
Nope.
I mean, let's see.
And they're different from one another. You get right. New England clam chowder, which is the predominant one, right? New England clam chowder. But there's another one. It's a clam chowder. It has some of the same ingredients, but it's different, way different. Manhattan clam chowder. Manhattan clam chowder.
Manhattan.
New England clam chowder is thick, cream, potatoes, clams, fresh thyme, bacon, Baileys, all the good stuff. It's really wonderful during the wintertime. Manhattan clam chowder is a broth soup. Clams, carrots, onions, celery, garlic, tomatoes in a broth. So it's a broth soup. You got one that is a cream, one that is a broth. New England is a cream, Manhattan is a broth. Okay? Know the difference between both of them. Okay? So anyways, thick soups. Most common cream soups are those made from vegetables cooked in the liquid that is thickened with the starch and puree. Okay? Like cream of potato soup. Even chicken soup can be done creamy or broth. Okay? Cream is incorporated to add richness and flavor. Puree soups are generally made from starchy vegetables or legumes. Okay? Lentils, puree lentils. Okay? Even a black bean soup. Okay? You can cook them off and make that into a soup. Okay? After the main ingredients simmer in the liquid, the mixture of a portion of it is pureed with a little hand immersion blender. Oh, we have the big ones that work. They're like, we call them the bazooka because they're so huge. They're like humongous with a big giant motor. Or you can puree them in a blender. Okay. Some soups, notably bisques and chowders, as well as cold soups such as gazpacho and fruit soup. Okay. Are neither clear nor thick soups. Rather, they use special preparation methods or combination of methods mentioned before. Bisque, shrimp bisque, lobster bisque, different kind of soup. Okay, it's not a cream soup and it's not a puree. It's not a broth soup. It's a little bit different. Okay, to be able to do a shrimp or lobster bake, it takes quite skill to do so. The traditional lobster bisque, it is thickened with rice, not with roux. Okay, so it's a different kind of soup. Okay. A soup's quality is determined by its flavor, appearance, and texture. A good soup should be full flavor with no off or sour taste. Flavors mix of the soup's ingredients should be blending complement with no other flavor overpowering another one. Okay, and a good way to take a look at a soup if the flavors have been fused. Because remember, we talked about yesterday. Taste your product before, during, and after. Because before you're going to taste it, it's going to taste individually raw. In the middle, it's not going to be fused together. At the end, all those flavors are very well rounded. And the clear visual aspect, you see the flavors have been fused, just like the tomato sauce. Remember I was telling you guys, you're going to have that pink foam coming up to the top. And once the pink foam goes away or turns darker in color, now you know the flavors have been fused. If you taste that tomato sauce at the beginning, when the foam is on top, it's going to taste individually raw. You're going to taste the tomatoes and everything else separate. But once that foam is gone, you taste it again, it's very well rounded. That's visually a way to tell that the soup has been simmered enough to have the very well rounded flavors. Okay, guys? Little trick of the trade. Garnishing. Let's talk about garnishing. Okay, just because you think that soup needs a little bit of red, don't throw some red chili flakes, some cayenne pepper, chili powder, or even worse, diced red bell peppers. Okay, don't just go for the color. Okay, the garnish on the soup has to make sense. It has to complement the soup, cannot take away from it, and it's gotta be a working garnish on the soup. Okay. As an important consideration with preparing soups, when applied to soups, the word garnish has two meanings. The first one is more typically associated with the word. It refers to foods added to the soup as decoration. For example, broccoli floret floated on a bowl of cream of broccoli soup. Okay. Even if it's broccoli and cheddar cheese soup, little broccoli floated on top with some sprinkled some cheddar cheese on top. Okay. The second refers to foods that may be served hot, maybe served not only as a decoration but also as a critical components of the final product. For example, noodles in a bowl of chicken noodle soup. In this cut, the noodles are not the ingredients because they are not used to make the chicken soup. Okay? Rather, they are added to the chicken soup to create a different dish. These additional items are still referred to as garnishes. Okay? However, just like in the Vichyssoise tomorrow, you got a potato, right? What kind of garnish should go with that potato? Okay. On top, that is going to throw out. It's going to complement the soup. It's not going to mess with the flavors.
A chive.
Chives, bingo. Why chives? Because in a baked potato, sour cream, cheddar cheese, bacon, chives. Okay, so chives, excellent for the Vichyssoise or the potato soup because it is mellow, it is smooth, it's not overpowering, it does not take away from the soup, but it adds flavor and enhances it. Okay, just like a little insert here says, accompaniments I used to make the main dish complete, provide a variety of improve to the nutritive value of the meal. Complements impart flavor, taste, color, blend, and give the contrast to the main dish. It helps to digest the food. Provides moistness. It gives piquant to the dish. Provides the satiety value and to enhance the taste. Okay, so garnishes. Croutons, both as garnish and as a complement. Grated cheese sprinkled over the soup. Thin slices of frankfurters floated on top of the soup. Okay, bits of crisp bacon, heavy whipped cream, a dollop of it on top of it. Parsley, chives, or watercress. Okay, even tortilla soup. Right, the name tortilla. Right, what's the garnish on top of tortilla soup?
Tortilla strips.
Strips.
Right, it bridges that connection and it gives it an enhanced flavor, also different texture because tortilla strips are crisp, crunchy, so it gives that crunchiness to the soup and it enhances the flavor too. Okay, so think about your garnish in the soup. Like I said, don't just like throw parsley, because sometimes when you throw parsley, it looks somebody mowed the grass and here you go, just throw some grass leftovers in your soup. No. Okay, so soups, the garnish has to work with the soup, not take away from it. It's got to complement it. Clear soup.
The garnish part.
Go ahead.
Chef. So you mentioned that like the noodles in a chicken noodle soup is considered a garnish, just like tortilla strips will be considered a garnish in tortilla soup. So I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to figure out then what exactly would the soup be if it's not chicken noodle soup without the noodles? You know what I'm saying? Just chicken soup. Like I'm trying to make sure I'm understanding why it isn't.
Because what's in the chicken noodle soup? What kind of ingredients are there?
Well, you have chicken broth, and then if you have vegetables in there like carrots, celery,
yeah.
Onions.
Onions.
Yeah, onions. Mm-hmm.
So you have
sometimes tomato.
Sometimes tomatoes. Okay. So you have a lot of ingredients in there. Yeah, you got the mirepoix. Remember that key word. Okay? Key word, mirepoix. You have that in there. Okay. You add
malanga.
you add whatchamacallit, you add elbow macaroni, cooked elbow mac, that becomes chicken noodle, right? If you add anything to garnish it with, it's gonna be too much on that soup. Okay, too much because it already have a lot of ingredients in it.
Okay.
New England clam chowder, potatoes, bacon, fresh thyme, celery, onions, garlic, cream, right? Chives is a perfect garnish for that one, okay? Or maybe it's some of its own crispy bacon. You don't add it in the soup, you can add it on top, okay? So the garnish cannot take away from it. It can enhance the flavor, it can enhance the texture. In this case, chicken noodle soup, you have too much in it. Minestrone, okay, what's minestrone? It's a vegetable soup with elbow mac.
Yeah.
Right? You don't garnish that with anything else because it already has too much stuff in it, okay?
Okay.
It's overloaded, okay?
Okay, I understand that.
Okay.
Because it's still chicken soup
Yeah.
with or without the noodle.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So you got chicken noodle soup, you add macaroni, you got chicken soup, you add some pasta, you call it chicken noodle soup, okay? Easy as that one. I know it's kind of conflicted, yes.
So I was watching this video earlier and he garnished the soup with dill.
Dill, remember, when we talked about the herbs last week, right? Dill is the perfect complement for salmon and seafood. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So dill on chicken noodle soup is not going to fly. He garnished it because it looks pretty, but as far as the flavor roundness, it doesn't go with chicken noodle soup. Okay. Dill may go with clam chowder. Dill may go with the maybe a shrimp bisque, something that is seafood related. Okay. It's so delicate. The flavor is mild, so it doesn't overpower, but doesn't go with chicken noodle soup. It goes with seafood. Okay. So Procedure for preparing the broth. Okay,
Chef, I have a question.
go ahead. I have an answer.
Chef, in Cuba, right? Like Cubans, they make the chicken soup, but they put papa, like potato on it. Isn't that too much already with carrots? No?
You got
It's
another soup in Mexico. You got sopa de lima. It has corn in it, has chicken,
Okay.
it has potatoes. You got an Ecuadorian and Peruvian soup and Colombian soup from Colombia. You got, in Colombia, it's called, what is it called?
Because it also has fideo, which is noodles, you know, in the soup. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
thinking like, Chef, is that a lot? I mean,
It's a lot, but it's the utilize the original ingredients. What's the name of the soup?
okay.
in
Yeah,
Colombia?
yeah.
Gosh, it's on top of my head right now. Because the Colombian soup has fresh corn on the cob, has potatoes, has the mirpa, has chicken. So it's very country style. Okay, that soup
Right.
has only a dollop of sour cream and some capers on top. Okay, I want to say it's called
Wow.
enocado de pescado, but that's the fish. I think it's called sopa de ají. I forget what it is, but I'll look it up before, you know, and I'll give you the name, okay?
Wow, Chef, you know so much soup. Wow.
It's some Thai soup.
Experience,
Korean soup.
experience.
I would
Yeah,
hope he knows a lot of soup.
yeah, it's experience. You
Like,
know?
I'll give you another example. French onion
So
soup.
many countries.
French onion soup. The
One of the
garnish for
best.
that is not just the crouton, but the Swiss cheese and little Parmesan when you gratinate it, right? Because it's a broth soup with onions, right? It's caramelized onion with chicken stock, but then the extra is the crouton that I put on top, right? The crouton is going to get all soggy and stuff like that, right? And you put nice slice of Swiss cheese on top, and the crouton that floats, so prevents the Swiss cheese from going down in the soup.
Down and
And then you put a
fried.
little bit of Parmesan cheese, and you kind of like brown it on top. That is the functional garnish for French onion soup. It is not taken away, it's just adding more flavor. And it's perfect. That's what they call the French onion, because the Swiss cheese and the Parmesan cheese that go on top, or the Gruyere cheese in this case, because it's French, okay? So anyways, procedures for preparing broths, okay? You can either truss or cut the main ingredient. You gotta sear it off, give it a nice brown color, okay? Brown the meat, or sweat the mirepoix vegetables as necessary to release the flavors, more flavors. Place the main ingredient in the mirepoix or vegetables in an appropriate stock pot and add enough cold water or stock to cover it, okay? Add a bouquet garni or sachet de piece if desired. Okay, here we go. The key word, if desired. Okay, it all depends on the personal preference. I didn't have one either last week for my chicken stock or my brown veal bone, so I didn't use one. Okay, bring the liquid slowly to a boil, reduce to a simmer and cook. Skim it occasionally until the main ingredient is tender and the flavor is fully developed. So you got to skim the top. Those are the impurities. Carefully strain the broth through a china cap lined with a damp cheesecloth. If you don't have one of those, nice little colander with your rinse of veggies and a coffee filter would do fine as well too. Okay. Try not to disturb the flavor ingredients as little as possible in order to preserve the broth's clearness. So when you're straining it, try to remove the top gently. Okay, because if you mix it too much, your broth's gonna be cloudy. Once the top has been removed gently, slowly, gently ladle that liquid onto the filtering containers to filter it and mix it and strain it out. Okay. Cool and store the following procedures for cooling stocks. You know how to cool everything with ice on the sink and ice water, or if you don't have any ice, cold water, and not different containers in your refrigerator to bring it down as soon as possible. Okay. Or bring to a boil, garnish as desired, and hold for service. Okay. You're gonna have to bring that soup to a boil when you reheat it. Okay. Boiling happens between 185, 100 degrees, not 165, okay? And then you're going to hold it about 135, 140 for service, okay? Broth-based soups, both broths are often used as a basis for such a similar soups and vegetables. Chicken noodle and beef barley. Transforming a broth into a broth-based soup, for example, is quite simple. Although a broth may be served with a vegetable or meat garnish, a broth-based vegetable soup is a soup made with the vegetables as meats and are cooked directly in the broth, adding flavor, body, and texture to the finished product. A number of vegetables can be used to make vegetable soup. It could be a single vegetable as an onion soup or a dozen different vegetables for a hearty minestrone, okay? Like beef and vegetable soup. You have chicken soup and noodles, right? You got beef and vegetables. You add wild rice, chicken wild rice. You can add barley, chicken, beef and barley soup. So whatever you add to that soup becomes a functional garnish of that beef soup. Okay, like I said, beef and vegetable soup. Add whatever garnish you want, some rice or some barley. Then you call it whatever that second ingredient is, just like chicken and noodle soup. Okay.
Chef Miguel,
Yes.
what is the holding temperature on the soups?
At 135. Remember? Sir say 135 or above. Okay. And again, you know, sweat along cooking vegetables in butter or fat. Sometimes we use bacon, you know, for more flavor. Sometimes we use butter. Sometimes we use duck fat. We use duck fat, which is a lot of flavor too. It depends on your preference of the fat content, maybe olive oil or not olive oil or canola oil. Okay. Add the appropriate stock for broth and bring it to a simmer. You can have pork bouillon, it's a vegetable stock. Fish fumet, it's a fish stock. Chicken stock, beef stock, or even pork stock if you're making pozole. Okay. What else? Add seasonings such as bay leaves, dried thyme, crushed peppercorns, parsley, stems, and garlic in a sachet. That's a sachet a piece, allowing enough time for the seasonings to fully flavor the soup. Not overpower, but fully flavor the soup. And in addition,
sorry, Chef, I have a question. What do you mean by sweat the vegetables?
Sweating is when your stock pot is hot, you add oil or whatever fat you're using, you add your mirepoix, your onions, celery, and carrots. You saute them. Sweating the meats until the onions turn translucent. It's another word for sweating. I mean, for sauteing. But sweating, it just makes sure the onions become translucent before you add the product. Okay.
It looks kind of shiny and it looks really a little bit soft, opaque looking. That's what they call by sweating.
Uh-huh.
All right, you just want it to be not stiff. Just before you mix all the other stuff in, it just brings it all together. Gives it flavor in the pan also. When you're sweating onions, it puts flavors in the bottom of the pan to bring all the other stuff. It's
Because
really
when
a good.
you have your raw mirepoix, it is nice and crispy and crunchy, right? You
Yeah.
add it to some hot oil, what happens? The moisture comes out of those onions and it turns translucent and soft. That's what we call sweating. You extract the moisture of those vegetables, okay?
From the vegetable.
Just like when you sweat, right? When you sweat, what happens? Your saltiness comes out, right? We were salty AF. We're not gonna be salty now.
And you'll smell it. You will smell it when it starts to do that. Do you know what I mean? When it starts to mellow out. And you'll see the difference, the translucence of the onion or whatever you're doing. It's really good.
So, and add additional ingredients according to the cooking time. Simmer the soup to blend all the flavors. If the soup is not going to be served immediately, cool it and refrigerate it. Just before service, add any garnishes that were prepared separately or do not require cooking. Okay, like chives for a creamy potato soup or vichyssoise does not require cooking. Okay, variations. A wide variety of vegetables can be added or substituted. Consommes. Consomme is a stock or broth that has been clarified to remove impurities so that it's crystal clear. Okay, traditionally, clear broths were referred to as consommes. A clear broth, further refined using the process described later, was referred to as a double consomme. Okay? The term double consomme is still used occasionally to describe any strongly flavored consomme, but it takes time. It takes time to make a consomme. It takes time to sit there and baby it. You just make sure it doesn't have a rolling boil. So a lot of places have gone away from making consommes because it is time consuming. Okay. So procedures for making a consommes in a suitable stock pot. One with a spigot makes it much easier. If you don't have one, that's fine. Okay. Combine the ground meat, lightly beaten egg white, and the other clear meat ingredients. Okay. And your mirepoix, onion, celery, carrots, and garlic. Add the cold stock or broth and stir to combine with the clear meat ingredients. Over medium heat, slowly bring the mixture to simmer, stirring occasionally. As the wrath forms, that meat is going to float to the top. We talked about it briefly last week. You got the ground beef with the mirepoix, the egg whites in a pot. Add the cold liquid, slow simmer. That ground beef is going to float to the top, becomes the wrath. Okay, that's what we call the wrath. Okay. As the wrath forms, make a hole in the center so the liquid can bubble through. Cooking the wrath completely and extracting as much flavor as possible from the wrapped ingredients. Simmer the consomme until full flavor develops. It takes about 1 to 1.5 hours for a 1 gallon of consomme. Okay, I used to do it in a 60, 80 gallon container. It used to take almost the whole entire 8-hour shift, sometimes even more than that, but that's in large production. Okay, carefully strain the consomme through several layers of cheesecloth and degrease completely. Okay, if the consomme will not be used immediately, it should be cooled and refrigerated, following the procedure for cooling stocks discussed earlier, just like in week 1 serve safe. When the consomme is completely cold, remove any remaining fat that solidifies on the surface. With a little paper towel, dab it and remove that fat. Okay. If after reheating the consomme, small dots of fat appear on the surface, they can be removed by blotting with a small piece of paper towel. Okay. That is consomme. As you can see, it's a lot of different steps. It's very detailed. It's a long process, and it's very it's labor intense. But again, it's labor of love, because once the consomme comes out, it's like OMG, what TF, right? WTF, right? Thick soups, 2 kinds of thick soups: cream soups and puree soups. General soups are thickened with a roux or other starch, just like your veloute, okay? Last week, that's a thick soup is thickened up, okay? Where puree soups are relying on a puree of the main ingredient for thickening. Lentil soup, when you cook, sweat your mirepoix, add your lentils, saute them a little bit, add your stock, add whatever flavoring, let it simmer. The lentils become soft. You take an immersion blender and puree them. Those lentils are going to release their starchiness. It's going to thicken that soup naturally without adding anything thickening starch. Okay, but in certain ways, the 2 soups are very similar. Some puree soups are finished with a cream or partially thickened with roux or the starch. Some of them are like cream of potato. It's thickened with a potato starch, but you add the roux to bring the flavors together. Okay? It ties them together, especially the cream, potatoes, and the mirepoix. It just blends them in really nice, easily, smooth, and velvety. Cream soups. Most cream soups are made by simmering the main flavoring ingredient. For example, broccoli for cream of broccoli soup. In the white stock or thin veloute sauce, to which seasonings have been added. The mixture is then pureed and strained. After the consistency has been justified, the soup is finished by adding cream. In a classic cuisine, with thin bechamel sauce is something used as the base for the cream soup. It can be substituted for veloute in any cream soup recipes if desired. You have bechamel in your kitchen, like I was telling you guys yesterday. You can make it into a soup, you can make it into a cheese sauce, you can make it into anything, because it's a mother sauce. So you can make it anything out of that bechamel. Okay. A properly made cream soups should have a silken texture and a thickness of heavy cream. The flavor of the soup's main ingredient should be pronounced. Okay. The flavor of the soup should be pronounced. If it's cream of potato, that potato flavor should be pronounced. Cream of mushroom should be pronounced. Cream of chicken should be pronounced. Okay. Both hard veggies, for example, celery and squash, and soft leafy vegetables, for example, spinach, corn, broccoli, and asparagus are used for cream soups. In the kitchen, we tend to use asparagus, right? Cut off the bottom stem, throw them away. I used to keep all the bottom asparagus, rinse them off, chop them real fine, and puree them in the blender, strain the juice out of it, and I will use that liquid to make my cream of asparagus soup. No stems, no woodiness, no particles, very smooth and velvety, utilizing the bottom of the asparagus. And again, in the kitchen, you got to use everything, because everything that comes to the back door costs money. And I was making money out of trash. Okay, that's how you make money. Okay.
Chef,
yes.
I've never tried creamy asparagus soup.
It's really good. It's not as strong as just plain asparagus. It's very velvety, very smooth. Okay. So yeah, if we have time, I'll show you guys how to make it if we have time next week or this week. Okay. So in a classic cuisine, a thin bechamel again can be used for that. Both hard veggies. Okay. Hard veggies are generally sweated in butter without browning before the liquid is added. Because if you brown them too long, they're going to be caramelized. They're going to change the color of the cream soups. Okay. All cream soups are finished with milk or cream. Using milk thins the soup while adding richness. Using the same amount of cream adds much more richness without the same thinning effect. So you can use milk and you can use heavy cream, but milk's going to make it very thin. So it's going to taste kind of watery on the palate. Heavy cream is going to make it velvety, smooth, and it's got more fats on it, so it's going to coat the back of your tongue and your palate, and the flavor is going to last a little bit longer. That has a heavy body on the palate. Okay. I prefer to use heavy cream. Okay. What else? Cold meal.
Hey, Chef.
Yes.
Whenever you're using the heavy cream, like, should it be like room temp, or should you heat it up, or like whenever you add it to the soup?
You can add it towards the end to enhance the flavor. Add it towards the end and let that soup simmer a little bit longer, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes, depending on how much soup you have, because that heavy cream needs to come out to temperature. It needs to fuse the flavors of the ingredients in it. Okay.
Hey, Chef.
Yes.
How long can you keep roux for?
Roux at room temperature in your countertop, maybe 4 or 5 days, because the butter is, again, has protein in it, so it's start getting moldy. You can keep it in your refrigerator for more than 7 days. You can even freeze it, but remember, before you use it, you gotta bring it to room temp so it's nice and soft to use it. Okay.
Yes,
I have a
Chef.
question about the roux that we were doing.
Yes.
So mine kept coming out. I know how the roux, like normally when I've made roux, the ratio has just been like different. Where how you had me doing like I think 6 tablespoons of butter and 4 tablespoons, or 6 tablespoons of flour and 4 tablespoons of butter or something, and it just kept coming out just like as a block basically. So that's why I kept remaking it and changing up the ratio until I got it how I know how to make it. Because I made that roux like 4 times.
Yeah, when you add flour, it makes it thicker. It makes it like concrete.
Yeah. So I kind of went back on like how you were telling me to put the 6 tablespoons and just slowly started reducing the tablespoons to see if it made a difference. And then it did.
Yeah, so you melt your butter first, and then you add your flour slowly until that flour is covered in the butter, and just let it, you know.
Yeah, it was just coming out as just straight dough.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of like, yeah, we're gonna like cut back the flour because this room ain't working.
Because if you use too much flour, yes.
The ratio between flour and butter is a solid, and flour is a powder. So the weight density is going to be a little different with the flour. You're going to need more flour than to butter so that it's equal 50-50, right?
Yeah, it's a 60-40 mix, isn't it?
That's why I go 60-40. I tend not to go 50-50 because sometimes if you do that, when you add your roux to your liquid, it'll break. It'll separate.
Yeah, that's what mine was doing with how thick it was. It would just congeal up and just stay there in like little pieces. But after I changed it up, it fixed it up a bit, and it worked the way I needed it to.
I watched something about bechamel on YouTube channel. It was the French Academy for Escoffier. And I learned how to make bechamel a couple different ways. Because you said the basic foundation is what we did in class, but they went ahead and did the advance with the cheese. So I saw how that was made. So every Thursday they have a new class on YouTube, and it's from Escoffier, but it's the French Academy version. It's very interesting.
No. That's nice. Yeah, so it's a different ways of making it. It's just like, you know, how you're gonna use a product, and just eyeball it and catch it. Because sometimes, you know, we say, oh, X amount of this, X amount of that. Like I was telling you guys on last week, you know, 60-40. But then I said, go ahead and do 1 ounce of butter and 2 ounces of flour.
2 ounces of flour, yes.
It's like, holy cow, it's too much flour. So I said, cut back a little bit, and then use that to mix into your melted butter, because sometimes it becomes like dough, too much. So sometimes it's a lot easier to say, okay, this amount of butter, this amount of flour, but when you see it, it's like way too much. So you adjust it as you go. Okay. Otherwise, like you said, it's going to come like concrete, like dough. Okay.
Question.
Yes.
You ever tried chocolate noodles?
Yes, I have. We made them for one dinner in Oklahoma. We tried chocolate lasagna for dessert. It was a chocolate themed menu. Every course had chocolate, from the appetizer, amuse-bouche, appetizer, salad, entree, and dessert had chocolate in it. And it was paired up with the wine that would enhance the chocolate flavor of every dish.
Damn.
Yep. Can be done. So cream soups, okay? Even chocolate in sauce, mole, right? Cream soups. Anyways, cream soups, guys. anyways, you add the heavy cream at the end and let it simmer so the cream will fuse the flavors and make it more silky. Okay. Both have hard vegetables. Again, like for example, celery and squash. If you can make a butternut squash bisque or cream of butternut squash and give it a little bit of honey at the end to give it a nice sweetness. All cream soups are finished with milk or cream. Okay, cold milk. Add cream curdles easily. So if added directly to a hot acidic soup. So to prevent from curdling, don't add cold milk at the beginning because it might curdle it with the acidic part of the soup. Okay. Procedure for preparing cream soups. In a soup pot, sweat hard the vegetables such as squash, onions, carrot, celery in oil or butter without browning in order to thicken the soup. Okay. Add the flour and cook to make the blonde roux. Okay. Then add the cooking liquid, which is the stock. Okay. So in a soup pot, sweat the hard veggies. Okay, your mirepoix without browning. And then add the flour because you already have the fat content in the mirepoix. Okay, so add the flour, and it's going to make that roux mix with the veggies. Okay, add the stock to the vegetables, bring that to a simmer, and add a blonde roux that will prepare separately if needed. Okay, so you're gonna have some roux on the side just in case you need it. Okay, or add thin velouté bechamel sauce, which contains roux to the vegetables. Okay. Next, bring that to a boil and reduce to a simmer. Always bring to a boil and reduce to a simmer. Add any soft vegetables such as broccoli or asparagus or sachet or bouquet garni as desired. Simmer the soup, skimming occasionally until the vegetables are very tender. Puree the soups by passing it through a food mill, okay, or a blender. But a blender is going to emulsify it. It's going to add cold air. So when you add them, it's going to drop your soup temperature down. It's going to make it cold, okay. Or a vertical mixer, okay, strain through a china cap or a cheesecloth. Puree the soup by passing through a food mill, okay. If the soup is too thick, adjust the consistency by adding hot white stock. Always have some white stock next to you so you can thin it out instead of water, because water is going to dilute that flavor. Finish the soup by adding hot milk or cream or a thin vegetable cream sauce. Adjust the seasonings and serve. Never add cold milk or cream to a hot soup. Okay, bring the milk cream to a simmer before adding the soup, and this is so it doesn't take longer to make. I'm used to adding just cold heavy cream to my cream soups, but it took longer to bring that to a temperature. You can have it nice and warm and add it so speed up the process. It has to slow it down. Okay, or temper the milk or cream gradually by adding some hot soup to it and then incorporating the mixture into the rest of the soup. Add the milk or cream to the soup just before service if possible. Do not boil the soup after the milk or cream has been added. Okay, don't boil it. Simmer it, because what happens when you boil milk? It scalds. It makes a huge mess in your stovetop. Okay, use the bechamel or cream sauce instead of milk or cream to finish the cream soups. You can use the bechamel instead of milk because it already has a thickening agent. It has more body, more flavor. Okay. If it's too thin, you can add a little bit more roux to thicken that soup. But again, the longer that you let it simmer, it's going to thicken up. Okay. Puree soups are hearty soups made by cooking starchy vegetables or legumes in a stock or broth. Then pureeing all of the portion, all or a portion of them, and thickening the soup. Puree soups are similar to cream soups that they both consist of a main ingredient that is first cooked in a liquid then pureed. Like lentils, you sweat your mirepoix, add your stock, your lentils, sweat them, add your stock. Bring it to a boiling point, simmer it, and then puree them with an immersion blender and then season them with salt. Okay. Rather, puree soups depend on the starch content of the main ingredient for thickening. Also, puree soups are generally coarser than cream soups and are typically not straining after pureeing. You don't have to strain a puree soup. Gazpacho is chunky. That's why I call it the Italian salsa. Okay. When finishing puree soups, follow the guidelines discussed previously for adding cream to the soups. You can even add cream to the soup, make it creamy. Okay. Puree soups can be made with dried or fresh beans such as pea, lentils, or navy beans, or with any number of veggies, including cauliflower, celery root, turnips, potatoes, diced potato to rice is something used to help thicken the soup puree of soups. Like I say, you can use in a lobster bisque, we use rice as a thickening agent. It doesn't change the flavor. Okay. Other soups, bisque. You are going to be making, I believe, shrimp bisque and regional. I love bisque. and it's a long process, okay? Traditional bisques are shellfish soups thickened with cooked rice. Today, bisques are prepared using a combination of the cream and puree soup procedures, generally made from shrimp, lobster, or crayfish that are thickened with roux instead of rice for better stability consistency, okay? When I make my shrimp bisque or crawfish bisque, I use that base to make crawfish etouffee. Has all the flavors in it, okay? Much of a bisque flavor comes from crustacean shells, which are simmered to cooking liquid, pureed along the mirepoix, return to the cooking liquid and strain after further cooking. Pureeing the shells and simmer them to the soup also adds the thickness and grainy texture associated with the bisque. I love making lobster bisque at work. I buy my 40 pounds of lobster heads, just the heads and the legs, not the tails, because you know we're gonna make soup. So we'll get the lobster heads in my kitchen, okay? Take them out of the box, get my sheet tray, spray it with Pam spray, lay out my lobster bodies, my lobster heads flat, one layer, roast them in the oven. Okay, oh, that smell from roasting of the lobster's bodies in the oven, it dominated the whole entire kitchen. The aroma went into the dining room, out to the parking lot. Once they were nicely roasted, not burnt, roasted, took them out, let it cool a little bit. And my skillet, because I have so much going on, I would add my butter, okay, my whole butter, melted it, and then caramelize my onions and celery. I mean, my onions and carrots, not celery. Caramelize onions and celery, add my tomato paste, saute it, and added my red wine to that mixture, okay? Added my red wine, and then added my celery, and then my lobster bodies that came out of the oven roasted. Fill them with water, not all the way up, maybe a quarter of the top down, and hit it with some aromatics. You know, in this case, I wasn't going to make a sachet de piece because I was making 20 gallons of soup. So I just had and added them to the soup, brought it to a boiling point, dropped it to simmering, let it simmer for 6 hours. Strained it, and the liquid that came out of that lobster stock, it looked like swamp water, kind of dark, greenish, olive-looking oil water. But the smell, the aroma, it was overpowering. Okay? Back then, I used to come home, and my ex had a cat, so my cat loved me because when I walked in, I smelled like lobster. Anyway, strained it, okay? Strained it, set it aside, cleaned my skillet, and then went ahead and put that stock back in there, let it bring to a simmering point, okay? And then I added my roux slowly. I didn't add the rice. I added my roux slowly, and then stir with my whisk until I saw the bubbles become slower, and that I knew was thick enough. And then I added my cold heavy cream. I didn't have it pre-hot. Added my cold heavy cream to that bisque, that lobster stock, broth, whatever. Once the heavy cream hit that liquid, it turned the color burnt orange. Okay. Added just enough so I was tasting it. I was tasting for the roundness of the flavors from the heavy cream, because at that point, before the heavy cream, you tasted the liquid and it tasted weak. The flavor disappeared. Okay, it was strong because of the lobster bodies were being roasted in the oven, but it was weak. So when I added my heavy cream, once I stirred it, let it simmer for a few minutes, I tasted it, and the heavy cream has so much fat in it, it coated the back of my palate and my tongue, and the flavor lasted longer, giving me a more well-rounded flavor, and then I seasoned it with a little bit of salt. That was my lobster bisque. I love making it. Love making it. But then I come home.
Jeff, I have a question.
Answer.
What would be an appropriate garnish for a lobster bisque?
Lobster bisque is creme fraiche.
Okay.
You will be making it, I believe, in culinary arts. Creme fraiche with a little bit of whiskey, okay? Or cognac, okay?
Mm.
You put it in a squeeze bottle, have your lobster bisque. You get a nice little bowl of lobster bisque. You have your little squeeze bottle of creme fraiche fused with whiskey or cognac, and you just do a couple of swirls, and that is it. That is perfect. No more, nothing else. Bingo. Oh, man. Yes, Chef Paula.
Let me ask you a question. So when you're making lobster bisque, and you just said roasting the lobsters and all that stuff, and then you get to the bisque part before you add the cream, can you save the bisque without putting the cream in, so you can do it slowly at a time, or do you have to add and then say take some of it and add the cream to it when you need it? You get what I'm saying?
I would add the cream now, because the longer it sits in your refrigerator with the cream and fully bodied, is the flavors are going to blossom. They're going to bloom in the refrigerator overnight. That soup is
Okay, so it's not like a mother sauce that you can add the cream to it. You've got to finish the whole tack.
correct.
Okay, I understand. And
that's
then
the
how
thing.
long will it last in the refrigerator? 7 days?
7 days maximum. But
Okay.
I would, at the 5th day, I will take it out, reheat it, and extend the shelf life or freeze it. It'll freeze beautifully. It will not change the
You
flavor
mean
quality.
it will freeze with the cream in it?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Oh, wow. That's
Yes.
interesting. That's a good thing to know. Thank you.
So there you guys go. I just gave you my personal recipe. Well, not recipe, ingredients and techniques how to make lobster bisque. Now let me switch gears. Okay. I just talked about a 20, 40, 60 gallon process, but I just gave you the ingredients. Let me switch gears to a 1 quart of shrimp bisque.
Wait. I gotta write it down. Wait.
Chef, let me just open the door for maintenance for a second. Be
Yeah.
right back.
I love to share.
I'll be right back.
All right.
I love to share. Okay. Again, we got 36 years of worth of experience that I'm sharing with you guys. Okay.
Okay, we're ready.
So shrimp bisque, you're gonna make about a quart and a half of shrimp bisque, right? You buy the shrimp, whole shrimp at the store, shell on, right? You peel the shrimp, save the shells. That is not trash. Save the shells, okay? You may have about a pound of shells, which is gonna be huge. But again, when you cook them, they're gonna shrink like spinach. So you're gonna have maybe about a pound of shells, set aside. Raw shrimp shells, tail and everything else. You're gonna have mirepoix. Let's say for about a quart of that, you're gonna have about some mirepoix. We did the tomato sauce, which is about 4 inches of mirepoix. Onion, celery, and carrots. Small dice. No garlic, no sachet, no bouquet. I don't do that. Okay. So about 4 ounces of mirepoix, onion, celery, carrots, small dice. Okay. And shells. Tomato paste, red wine, heavy cream. So you got shells, mirepoix, tomato paste, heavy cream, and red wine. 5 ingredients and roux. 6 ingredients for your shrimp bisque. Okay, 6 ingredients. On a stock pot, heat some oil, nice and smoky hot. Add your shrimp shells. You're going to caramelize them. You're going to start with high heat. You're going to drop that to medium heat, because the shells, shrimp shells, are so delicate, they will burn real quickly. You're going to start with high heat, drop your shrimp shells. It's going to lower your heat. Let that come up to high heat, and then lower your heat to medium. Continue stirring once in a while until the shells caramelize. How you know they caramelize? They're going to turn that dark brown color on the edges, and you're going to smell that aroma of the shells being caramelized. It's going to dominate your kitchen. Okay. Hot oil, stock pot, high heat, shrimp shells. Bring it up to the temperature, drop the heat to medium, caramelize. It may take about 10-15 minutes to caramelize those shells. Add your onions, your carrots, sweat them with the shrimp shells. Add about 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Okay.
I'm back, Chef. I'm sorry.
Mix very well with the shells and the mirepoix. Okay. Once they're thoroughly mixed, 2 tablespoons tomato paste, mirepoix shells, mix it very well. Drop 1 cup of red wine. Doesn't matter what kind of red wine it is. Box, Chablis, Franzia, whatever. As long as it's red wine, not vinegar, red wine. Okay. 1 cup of red wine. Mix it thoroughly in your onions, carrots, tomato paste, and shells. Okay. Add medium heat, stirring slowly. Okay. Add water from your tap water. Cold water is fine. About a quarter from the top, and then drop your celery. Mix thoroughly so everything disperses in your water. Bring to a boiling point and drop the heat to simmer. Okay, drop the heat to simmering point. Taste it. Everything will be tasted raw and individually, right? Just like tomato soup, it'll form that foam on top of the soup as it's simmering, okay? When that foam goes away, you know those flavors have infused. Taste it again. It's gonna taste funky, right? Slowly incorporate your roux until it becomes thick, just like your velouté or bechamel, okay? Add your roux, make it nice and thick like your bechamel velouté. Now you know the consistency, what we're looking for, nape the back of the spoon. Let it simmer for a few minutes. And then add 1 to 2 cups of heavy cream. Okay, you're probably going to use a whole pint or 2 cups of heavy cream. Mix it. You're going to see that color turn burnt orange. Bring it to a boiling point. Drop to low, medium to low heat. Let it simmer for about 20 minutes. Taste it. You will see a drastic change in flavors. But spit out the shells because it's not spring yet. And adjust it with salt. Pull it aside, strain it, okay, and try to push as much liquid as you can from the shells in the strainer, okay? That is your shrimp bisque. One of my favorites, okay? The color is gonna be burnt orange. And I've been making it for 36 years, okay?
So, Chef, how much roux do you put in it, Chef?
You probably need about, start with 4 ounces of roux. You might not use it all, okay? It all depends on the consistency and the thickness of the soup. You might need a little bit more, but start with 4 ounces first, or already made roux, okay? Once you strain it, that is your shrimp bisque. Now, you can use it as by itself. In this case, you can garnish it with a cooked diced, small diced shrimp in the middle, and a little bit of creme fraiche around it. That is shrimp bisque. It is delicious. If you guys like shrimp and seafood, this is to die for. Trust me, guys. I made it 1,000 times in my lifetime, from 1 quart to 40 gallons, okay? Same ingredients, different amounts, but it's to die for. Now, how can you use it? Different ways, okay? Shrimp bisque by itself soup, okay? You can make some crawfish etouffee, because it has those flavors. Or you can use it for shrimp and grits. Have you guys ever had shrimp and grits?
No, Chef.
Yes, sure have.
Now, before I go, I don't
No
know.
seafood with me, Chef, so.
So you guys know how to cook grits, right? So
Grits?
here's a little thing outside the box. Okay, think outside the box. Grits. You make your grits, right? You add your cheese and everything else. Put them in a sheet tray lined with parchment paper, about this inch thick. Put them in your refrigerator, let it get cool, let it get solidified. Come back with a cookie cutter, cut them off. Now you got a little hockey puck of grits, nice and firm. Do a simple breading, seasoned flour, egg wash, breadcrumbs. Pan fry those grits until they're nice and golden brown. Take a little dab with that shrimp bisque on the bottom of the plate. Put your little grits hockey puck inside. Put a little bit of more shrimp bisque on top, and put your cooked shrimp with the tail facing up. OMG. What the?
Oh, I'm doing that. I am doing that.
But when you cook your grits, instead of using water, cook some of the, use some of the shrimp stock to infuse your grits, because again, it's shrimp and grits. Shrimp is a dominant flavor, grits secondary. So you got shrimp in your grits, in the bottom and on top with the shrimp on top. It's more of a elevated shrimp and grits. Man, and it's off the hook. The grits, are crispy on the outside, but yet soft and warm and gooey on the inside. And then the bisque on the bottom and the top, OMG.
That's the way I love grits. I also make grit pie. Have anybody ever heard of a grits pie? It is phenomenal. It's so good.
Oh my gosh.
It's so good.
I love shrimp
No,
and grits.
do tell, do tell.
All different kind of ways I want to learn how to make it.
Oh, grits is, yeah. I used to, when I had my, when I used to be at the hotel, make grits pie, and I tell you, it was a seller because nobody ever believed that grits could be a pie.
So there we go, guys.
Oh, thanks, Chef. I'm really about to use that. Thanks, Chef.
I have 2 recipes, okay, guys, for about using the soup, a classical bisque, into 2 variations, right? This is what it's all about, using the classical one and make different parts out of it, okay? So anyways, back to bisque. Sorry, guys, I got a little bit of passionate in my bisque, okay? So bisque, okay? Caramelize the mirepoix, add flavor and ingredient and fat, add tomato product, deglaze with wine, just like I told you guys. Add the cooking liquid, stock or veloute, incorporate roux needed, simmer, skim as needed, strain the soup, reserving the solids and liquid, puree the solids in a food mill or process and return it to liquid, return to a simmer, strain the soup. Now you have bisque. Just like I just went away step by step how to make that shrimp bisque at home for 1 quart, okay? It is delicious, delish, okay? Chowders. You're gonna make chowder when you go to regional cuisine on the first or second day. You're gonna make New England clam chowder. Remember that, okay? Chowders. You got 2 different ones. New England clam chowder is a cream thick soup. You got Manhattan clam chowder, some broth soup with carrots and tomatoes. The cream does not have carrots or tomatoes. Although chowder is usually associated with the eastern United States, where fish and clams are plentiful, they are French origin. Undoubtedly, the word chowder is derived from the Breton phrase faire chaudir, which means to make fish stew in a caldron, okay? In a caldron. The procedure was probably brought to Nova Scotia by French settlers and later introduced to New England. Chowders are hearty soups with chunks with the main ingredient, including virtually always diced potatoes and garnishes, with some exceptions, notably Manhattan clam chowder, like we talked about, okay? Manhattan clam chowder, no milk or cream. Although there are thin chowders, most chowders are thickened with roux. Procedure for making chowders is similar to those making cream soups, except the chowders are not pureed and strained through before cream is added. They're chunky, okay? They're chunky. Procedures for making chowder. Render the fat, usually pork fat, bacon, fat back, in medium to high heat. Sweat the mirepoix in the fat. Add the flour to make the roux, just like you would make sausage gravy for breakfast. Add the liquid. In this case, clam juice out of the can is perfectly fine. Okay. Add seasonings and flavor ingredients such as cooking time, sachet de peas, bouquet garni. Simmer, skimming as needed. Add milk or cream. Okay, you're gonna add the potatoes and the clams midway, because the potatoes, if you add them at the beginning, by the time the clam chowder is done, it's gonna be like cream of potato soup. So you add them halfway. The small, medium diced potatoes and chopped clams. Okay.
Chef, which one would be better? I mean, you said add the milk or the cream. Which one would be
I use heavy cream. I don't use milk.
heavy cream? Okay.
Yeah. I like to cook like Julie Childs. I'll go for the fat. I go for the
For
butter.
the fat, yes.
That's the French way. Okay. So garnishing soups. Garnishings and toppings can range from a simple sprinkle of chopped parsley on a bowl of cream soup, or tiny profiteroles stuffed with foie gras adorning crystal clear bowl of consomme. Some soups are so full of attractive flavors and colorful foods that are integral parts of the soup that no additional garnishes are necessary. In others, the garnish determines the type of soup. For example, beef broth garnished with cooked barley and divvied beef becomes beef barley soup. Foie gras. Have you guys ever had it, heard of it, seen it, tasted it, work with it?
No, chef, no.
I've heard of it, but never had it.
It is, if you like liver and onions, you will like foie gras. If you don't like liver and onions, forget it.
No, I don't.
Foie gras is the fattened liver of ducks. Back in the days, it was the geese. They discovered in ancient times in Egypt, the Egyptians went to hunt for the geese before the winter settled in. So when they hunted the geese, they brought it back to fabricate them, and they found out that the livers would fatten versus hunting them in the summertime, because geese and ducks are opportunist eaters. They will gorge themselves. Okay, gorge. They don't know how to stop. So, anyways, that's how foie gras was discovered. Nowadays, there's a big controversy of the gavage system that is used to force feed ducks. Okay, gavage system is inserting a large metal tube down their windpipe and force feeding them until the livers become enlarged and fattened up. Okay, I know it may sound cruel, but when you have a little bird, you're gonna have to gavage it to keep it alive. Okay.
Oh God.
Okay. And the foie gras, it is expensive, but it's about $45 a pound for foie gras. But man, oh man, it is so delicious, so delicious. Okay. Anyways, foie gras. I overdosed in foie gras a while back in school, and it made me feel funky because it's too much protein. Ate foie gras. Even after now, when I get my hands on it, like, oh, I feel like Homer Simpson dribbling down my face. So let's talk about potatoes. Now we got over soups. Let's go over potatoes. In Peru, there are about 400 kinds of potatoes. Okay, potatoes and starch cookery, because we're now going to start cooking starches. Okay, potatoes, they're all known as starches. Some of these foods are vegetables. Others are grasses. Pastas, of course, are prepared products made from grains. Starches are, for the most part, stable foods, foods that define the cuisine and give it a substance. All are high in starch, carbohydrates, complex carbs. If you're diabetic, you don't eat potatoes because they turn them to sugar. Same thing with rice, white rice. Okay, low in fat and commonly used as part of a well-balanced meal. Potatoes, French pommes de terre. That is a term in France. So whenever you see pommes de terre, means potatoes. Okay, that's what we have on the menu, pommes de terre. On a few vegetables native to the New World, probably originating South American Andes. Botanically, potatoes are succulent, woody-annual plants. The portion consumed is a tuber, the swollen, fleshy part of the underground stem. Potatoes are hardy and easy to grow, making them inexpensive and widely available. Americans eat nearly 43 pounds of fresh potatoes and 55 pounds of potatoes annually. P. Terry's, wow. Mickey D's, Whataburger, right? Mashed taters, Thanksgiving, right? Easter, right? All kinds of potatoes.
Christmas.
One of the top 5 vegetable crops in the United States. Idaho potatoes, russet potatoes, fingerling potatoes, all kinds of potatoes, okay? So identifying potatoes, okay? We have, let me see if I can zoom in. Move this one up here, here we go, okay?
That's better.
on the left-hand side, you have Hennebed, Northland red, russet, aka Idaho potato. Same thing. Red thumb, Japanese sweet potato, Lorette, purple majesty, Russian banana, Yukon gold, Julie yam, Hannah sweet potato, rose fin, apple, all blue, Austrian crescent, red gold, French fingerling. On the middle, you got Caroline potato, Delaware, Castorel, Nadine, Ruby Lou, Desiree, Royal Blue. On the right side, you got Russet or Burbank. About the same as Idaho. Red Norland, Golden Yukon are really creamy and yellow. That's what they call yellow, you call the Yukon. And it's smaller than Russet, Burbank, or Idaho. Atlantic, Kutri Jordi, Austrian Crescent. Okay. The most commons we use is Idaho, Russet, Golden Yukon, and Red Skin. That's the ones we use most of the time. Okay. So potatoes. Choose potatoes that are heavy and firm with clean skins and few eyes. Avoid this with many eyes, sprouts, green streaks, soft spots, cracks, or cut edges. When ordering the size A, it's larger than size B. That's what we in the industry we call them B potatoes, small ones. Okay, which must be between 1.5 to 2 inches thick, inches diameter. Since seed potatoes or creamers are the smallest size, measuring about 3/4 of an inch to 1 5/8 inch diameters, new potatoes are small, immature potatoes. They're harvested before their starches develop. Although red potatoes can be new, not all potatoes are necessarily red skinned. Controversy, not all red skinned potatoes are new. Vice versa, okay? Two potatoes are waxy with a high moisture content and a thin, delicate skin. Fingerling potatoes are typically heirloom varieties, related to the original potato varieties from the Andes. They are originally small, long and oblong, with a good flavor. Russian banana looks like a small banana and has a firm texture, rich, buttery flavor. The red streaked French fingerling has a nutty flavor. Red ruby crescent has a strong, earthy flavor. All fingerling varieties tend to be low in starch and are good for roasting and in potato salads. Purple potatoes. Purple or blue potatoes have a deep blue, purple skin. Their flesh is bright purple, becoming large, lighter when cooked. They are mealy with a flavor and texture similar to russets. Most common varieties of blue and Caribe, which are popular in the mid-19th century. Red potatoes have a thin red skin, crisp, white, waxy flesh. May be suited for best boiling or steaming. Okay, so potatoes for boiling or steaming. That's why we utilize them for turnip potatoes. Roasted new potatoes in the oven. Red potatoes are round instead of long or oblong. Popular varieties are red Pontiac and Norland. Perfectly for, they're so tender, you don't have to boil them a long time. You can cook them until they be nice and soft. Just cut them, rinse them, cut them in quarters, season them, throw them in the oven. 20 minutes are done. Okay. So potatoes. Russet, Burbank are commonly referred to as Idaho potatoes. So russet, Burbank, Idaho, they're all the same. Okay, so you're asking questions. Well, the shopping list says Idaho, but I don't see russet. They're the same thing. Okay. They are long with rough, reddish brown skin and mealy flesh. Russets are excellent baked and the best potatoes for frying. They tend to fall apart, but when boiled, that they do. That's what we use it for mashed potatoes. They are marketed in several size categories. Select those that are most appropriate for the intended use. White potatoes. I see this at HEB too. White potatoes are available in round, long varieties. They have a thin, tender skin with a tender, waxy yellow or white flesh. Round white potatoes are also referred to as chef or all-purpose potatoes. Okay. White potatoes are usually cooked with moist heat or using during sautéing. White roast or finished yellow are popular varieties too as well. Okay. Sweet potatoes are from a different botanical family than ordinary potatoes. Although they're also tubers that originated in the New World, the two types are commonly available. One has a yellow flesh and a dry, mealy texture. It is known as boniato. Right, Maru? Boniato.
Yes.
White or Cuban sweet potato.
Boniato.
Right?
Yes.
Not a Cuban sweet potato. The other has a darker orange, moister flesh, and is high in sugar. It is known as a red sweet potato. Both types have a thick skins, ranging in color from light to tan, brown, reddish, sometimes dark skin. Sweet potatoes are normally labeled yams. Okay, yams. Thanksgiving, yams come around the corner. Yams are a little bit more longer, cylindrical shape. The sweet potatoes are shorter and fatter. Okay, sweet potatoes should be chosen according to the degree of sweetness. They are best suited for boiling, baking, pureeing. Although the less sweet varieties can be deep fried, the cooked fresh can also be used for breads, pies, and puddings. Ooh. Love me some sweet potato pie.
Really? Oh, okay.
Oh.
I gotta make you one, chef.
in that recipe, a touch of nutmeg is to die for. OMG. Yams are a third type of tuber, botanically different from the both sweet and common potatoes. Yams are less sweet than sweet potatoes, but they can be used interchangeably. The flesh of yams ranges from a creamy white to deep red. Yams are Asian in origin and are now found in Africa, some American, and in the southern United States as well too. Okay. Nutrition. Potatoes contain a high percentage of easily digestive complex carbohydrates and little or no fat. They're also a good source of minerals and vitamins, especially B6, vitamin C, and potassium, especially sweet potatoes. Although much of the vitamin C can be destroyed when potatoes are cooked in liquid, you're not going to eat a raw potato. Okay. So variations of cooked potatoes, you got baked potatoes, twice baked, gratin dauphinoise, lyonnaise, fried, boil, mash, right? All kinds of different cooking techniques of potatoes. Okay. Your menu on Tuesday. Your menu on Tuesday. Tomorrow.
Ay, qué rico.
You are making vichyssoise. It is a cold
Wow.
potato soup. Okay. You are making puree de pommes de terre, whipped potatoes. You're making pommes de terre duchesse potatoes. You're making potato salad.
Oh, great. I just can't have eggs in that potato salad.
So, vichyssoise, let's see if I can open the link. I can't open it here.
Wow, that looks so good. Oh my God.
Vichyssoise, the recipe is very simple on the portal. Okay, guys, let me see if I can pull that real quick and go with it with you guys. Okay. 12. Let me pop it in here with the screen and go with it with you guys so you guys can see what I'm looking for. Okay. And also you can start taking notes on your ingredients that you may need for this vichyssoise. Okay. So you can compare it to the shopping list. Okay. So on your recipe in the portal, it says for vichyssoise, 1 gallon. Unless you're feeding your whole family, go for it. Knock yourself out. Make 1 gallon. But I'm gonna make a quart of soup of this potato soup, so I'm not gonna make a gallon. I don't have.
So
this
how much would I need, Chef? Excuse me. How much would I need? Because it's just me.
Half the
My
recipe.
husband like soup.
Half the recipe. It was
I
only
half.
would probably say half the recipe for everybody that makes it, Chef.
Don't go below half a recipe because you're gonna screw up the recipe. You're not gonna make it right. Okay.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. So just
Half the recipe.
Half the recipe.
So that's
So,
gonna be
it
1
says-
But that's 2 quarts of chicken stock. So, you know, you've got chicken stock already. Did we all use that up? No?
Nope, still
No,
have-
no, we still
Oh,
have it.
So we still got chicken stock, right? So
Yep.
we don't have to worry about that. You're talking about 1 pound of potatoes. That's not very many. Remember?
Yes.
So ingredients.
I would go, yeah.
Ingredients, you got leeks, the white parts only. You got whole butter, russet, Idaho, same thing. Potatoes.
Right.
You got chicken stock, which you have. You got salt, which you have. Heavy cream. Chives, if you're able to get them, excellent. If not, don't worry about it. Green onions will do the same. Milk, okay? Milk. Okay, so you got leeks, butter, potatoes, heavy cream, and milk. 5 ingredients. So double cross-reference, see when you got those ingredients in your shopping list. I'm gonna try to remember the ingredients so when I pull the shopping list, we're all on the same page, okay? So we'll cut this recipe by half, okay? 1 pound of leeks, eyeball it. If it's below 1 pound, it'll be okay. It's not gonna affect the quality. If 1 pound is 16 ounces, if you have 12 ounces, go for it. It's not gonna make a big, huge difference, okay? Butter, you need 6 ounces, that you need, okay? Russet potatoes, you got 1 pound of russet potatoes. If that one potato, it measures 14 ounces, go with it. Don't worry about the other 2 remaining ounces, okay? Chicken stock, you got 1 quart of chicken stock. That's all you need. If you got a little bit below 1 quart, fill that quart with water. It's all right, no big deal, okay? Heavy cream, need about 5 ounces, give or take. Chives, the green is just for garnish. And milk as needed, okay? So maybe like about a cup or 2 of milk. That's all you need, okay? You're gonna split the leeks in the lengthwise, okay? Open them and wash them because every layer might have some kind of dirt or mud inside the leeks. So you gotta be really careful. You gotta split them, open them, and rinse them in the sink to remove all the impurities, all the mud and dirt, okay?
Okay.
You're gonna slide the leeks to make half circles or half moon. Remember that half moon cut?
Yes.
Wet the leeks in butter without browning. Add the diced potatoes and stock and bring to a simmer, okay? So potatoes and stock can be added at the same time. Stock can be cold, okay? Simmer until the leeks and potatoes are very tender, okay? Squeeze them with a pair of tongues or inserting thermometer or mash them with a spoon, okay? When you mash them with a spoon, they're tender, they're done. Pass through a food mill If you don't have a food processor, if you don't have a food processor, use a blender. Be careful, it's a hot liquid, okay? If you close and don't vent the top of your blender, it's going to explode and it's going to burn you tremendously. So make sure that the top is vented and start with low speed. Yes, Chef Paula.
How about
I
a
don't
burr
have either
mixer?
one.
Would a burr mixer be really good too? Sorry, a burr mixer,
Immersion blender.
immersion blender.
It will do too, but it's going to leave it a little bit chunky. So you got to go a little bit longer with immersion blender, okay?
Okay.
I don't have blender. I don't have anything. I don't know what to go.
So mash them. Okay. Chill the soup to about 41 degrees. Add cold cream to the soup. Season to taste. You can adjust the consistency with milk. If it's too thick, add milk. We're not looking to coat the back of a spoon. Okay. And serve cold with chives.
Add milk. Okay.
Very easy to make. Okay. I know it may sound intimidating because of the name, Vichyssoise, but it is not. It is not, okay? So there you go. One recipe down, right? Okay. Next one, pomme de terre, puree de pommes de terre, mashed potatoes. Another easy recipe to do, okay? See if I can go back here to the.
I'd go half a recipe with that one too, Chef.
Yeah, let me pull it up real quick on the screen, okay? Yes, remember the recipes are made for 16, okay?
That's what I did last week, remember?
Yeah.
Love it.
Pomme de terre, puree de pommes de terre. Let's take a look at the recipe ingredients. See what you got, okay? Really? So I can't zoom on this one. It does not allow me to.
You can zoom in? Oh, okay. It's okay, Chef.
You got potatoes, milk or cream, butter, salt, and nutmeg. I don't like nutmeg. I'm going to leave it out. It's not going to make a huge difference. I ain't worried about it. I ain't got time for that. I get bronchitis. So I will cut that by half too, okay? One potato is equals to about 1 pound. Like I said, if it's 12, 13 ounces, don't worry about it. Go with it, okay? Milk or cream, you need about 2 to 3 ounces, okay? And that you may use all of it. You may not use all of it because the potatoes have to be nice and firm. They cannot be loose like a big old glob, okay? Because you need to hopefully put them in a bag and pipe them so you can show how the potatoes come out nice and firm, okay? Salt and nutmeg. So you're going to peel the potatoes, cut them into quarters lengthwise, start in cold water, and boil the potatoes until tender. Drain the potatoes, allow them to dry, pass the potatoes through a food mill or into another pot. If you don't have a food mill, mash them real fine, but there got to be no lumps at all. No lumps. We're not looking for no lumps, okay?
Okay.
Low heat, add the scalded milk and room temperature butter, melt them both, and use that to make your potatoes creamy. So you may not use all that liquid, but use it to make it creamy. You want them firm. You don't want them loose. That's why you need to drain them of all the excess water so it can just as the potatoes, okay? Season with salt, and that is it.
Wow.
With saran wrap, okay? I'm gonna put mine in the piping bag. I'm gonna show you how to pipe them, okay? But that is it. Very simple, very easy. It's just the name that sounds intimidating, but it's not, okay?
I know that it says nutmeg. What does nutmeg do to it?
It just give it a little, just gives it flavor. I don't
That's all.
Potatoes, milk, and butter.
Interesting.
Wow.
There you go. So now it's zoomed in, okay?
There it is.
Next one is you got,
Pinch of salt. There you go.
now you got a little bit more complex recipe here, okay? You got pommes de terre duchesse or duchesse potatoes, muchacho. You got potatoes, okay? Butter at room temperature. Again, nutmeg. I will use nutmeg for this one. Salt, 1 egg, 4 egg yolks. Half the recipe. Now, you're not going to be able to do half an egg yolk. I will just use 1 egg yolk, okay? And I will use 1 egg yolk, 1 egg to start with, okay? Same process. Peel the potatoes, cut in quarters, start with cold water, bring it to a boil until tender, drain the potatoes to allow them to dry, and remove the as much moisture as you can. Add the butter and season to taste. Okay? Allow to cool lightly, and then you're gonna whip in the egg and egg yolk, okay? You want them to cool down because if they're hot, what's gonna happen, you're gonna make scrambled eggs, okay? And you're gonna put them in a piping bag with a star tip. You're gonna pipe them into a rosette, okay, rosette. If you go, so rosette is when you have the potatoes and you have your piping bag and you go this circle motion. As you go in circle, you go up like this, okay? So circle motion, up. If you go too wide and then go up, you're gonna make a poop emoji. It's gonna look like a turd. So don't go too wide, make it nice and tight and go up as you're swirling up. As you get to the top, just remove the bag, okay? And that's what we call a rosette with a large star tip, okay? You're gonna put them in a parchment lined cookie sheet tray, place them in the oven at 350 for about 7 to 8 minutes, depending on if the oven is preheated or hot, until become nice and golden brown on the edges, just like you saw in the picture, okay? That is your Duchesse potatoes. Pommes de terre Duchesse, okay? Let's take a look at the last one, potato salad, okay? Now, some of you guys already made potato salad, but this is what we're looking for, okay? Let's take a look at the ingredients. Mayonnaise. Now, I am not gonna make you guys go make mayonnaise by hand. If you already got pre-made mayonnaise, Heinz, whatever, use that, okay? Don't go make your mayonnaise, we're done with that. Okay? So you utilize, I got Hellsman, okay? I don't do Miracle Whip. So mayonnaise, okay? Potatoes, eggs, hard or hard cooked. If you don't have eggs, don't worry about it. But if you do, go ahead and hard cook the eggs because you are going to do egg cookery in culinary arts, in this kitchen box. So get used to that, okay? Celery, medium dice, green onions, sliced. I'm not going to worry about radishes, okay? So you got mayo, potatoes, eggs, celery, onions, cornichons or relish, Dijon mustard. I'm not going to worry about parsley. So don't go buying parsley. If you have it, it's fine. If you don't worry about it. And I am not going to do vinegar. Okay. So
no vinegar.
mayo, potatoes, egg, celery, onions, cornichons, mustard, and salt. Okay.
What did you say, Cornish?
Cornichons.
What is that?
It's like little pickles, like gherkins. So again, I'm going to use the jar mayonnaise. I ain't got time for making the mayonnaise by hand. I'm done with that. You know, out of the way. Bye.
Yes, I was just about to ask you.
Now, but I will show you a different method how to make mayonnaise in less than 5 minutes. Utilizing your immersion blender, not the blender, your immersion blender. Okay, I'm going to show you that method. Okay, so hopefully you will remember that if you are in my regionals class and we cross paths again. Because there are going to be so many dishes.
I hope we do, Chef.
Because we got so many dishes, there's no time to be messing with a stainless steel bowl and a whisk. So I'm going to show you how to make mayonnaise with an immersion blender in less than 5 minutes, okay? So,
Chef, I was ready to make mayonnaise.
You can make it. I'm
not ready to make mayonnaise. I was like, wait, we got to make mayonnaise? Oh, yeah, that's a bet.
Go for it, man. Knock yourself out if you want to. You're going to boil you're going to peel the potatoes, medium dice, boil them until they're somewhat tender but yet firm. We don't want them too soft, they're going to fall apart, okay? But we don't want them raw. You drain the potatoes, spread them on a sheet tray, let them get cool. We need for them to be cold. Hard-boil the eggs and chill. Now with the hard-boiling eggs, the standard amount of time is about between 13 and 15 minutes to hard-boil one egg. That's if the egg has been sitting at room temperature. Remember this, guys, okay? It's going to come up in culinary arts. An egg, you can hard-boil it 13 to 15 minutes if the egg is sitting at room temperature and it's the large size, because each egg is made different. You got small, medium, large, extra large. It all depends on the egg size and if it's sitting at room temperature. And every egg is made different. So the temperature may vary to make a hard-boiled egg. So when you do hard-boiled eggs, I usually do 2 or 3. I take one out of 50 minutes and I take a look at it. If it's done, I take them out. If not, I leave the other 2 in there. Go for another 2-3 minutes. Check the other one until the other one is done. Okay. Okay. So 13, 15 minutes is the average time to do a hard cooked egg, hard-boiled egg. It all depends on the egg if it's sitting at room temperature, and it depends on the egg size. Okay. So once your potatoes have been cooled down, because you're going to pre-peel them and pre-cut them. In here says peel and cut afterwards. No, 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 no. You're going to peel and dice medium, boil them nice and tender, and strain them and cool them down. Okay. You're not going to shock them in ice water. You're not going to put them in cold water because you can bleed out the starches. You got to stop them from continuing cooking. Okay. And gently fold in all the ingredients. Fold in the ingredients. Okay. You're going to fold in your celery. Okay. Your green onions, your cornichons, your mustard, your salt, your potatoes, and your mayonnaise. Okay.
Chef, do I have to put the eggs in? Because I mean, I don't need eggs.
You can leave them out.
I've had allergies.
You can leave them out. Leave
If
them
I
out.
have to do it, I'll do it. I'll have my husband eat it.
Leave them out. Fold them in gently. What we're looking for is not for the potato salad to look like mashed potatoes. Okay. I know sometimes in the industry at home, personal preference, you serve a potato salad, it looks like this blob of mashed potatoes. No, 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 no. We're looking for your knife scales to be shown in the potatoes. Your medium diced potatoes, your medium diced celery. That's what we're looking for, okay?
You're not overcooking it.
We're not looking for mashed potato salad. So if you,
Right,
if you
Evo.
see that, that's not what we talked about, okay? Remember that.
Okay.
On mine, personal preference, on my potato salad, I like to use smaller diced onions and celery. So if I'm using medium diced potatoes, I go small diced onions, celery.
Smaller on the ingredients.
And on mine, personal preference, I like to mix in a little bit Hidden Valley Ranch powder mix, ranch dressing mix.
Oh.
Oh, a little bit of celery salt, but that's me. Okay.
Okay.
So anyways, that is your menu for tomorrow. Okay. Are we on the same tomorrow on the menu?
Yes, chef.
Overall, it is probably 3 pounds of potatoes, guys. That's what you're going to need for tomorrow.
Just three,
One
four potatoes.
potato, mashed potatoes 1, duchesse 1, potato salad. So 4
That'd
potatoes.
be 4. Sorry, 4.
I
And
have.
again,
Good.
not each potato weighs the same amount. If it doesn't weigh 16 ounces, don't worry about it. Just use 1 large potato. That's all you need, right?
Yep.
Don't beat yourself up. Oh, chef, it only weighs 12 ounces.
Yep.
Go with it. It's fine. It'll be okay. Okay, it'll be okay.
Yep.
So that's what we're looking for. See that golden brown color on the duchesse potatoes? That is what we're looking for. So what's happening with the eggs? They're binding the potatoes. So when you put them in the oven to get them nice and golden brown, they are not going to turn into this glob. They're going to hold their shape. The egg is a thickening, a binding agent. Okay. So that's your menu for Tuesday. Okay. Potatoes, butter, celery, cream, milk, mayo, eggs, nutmeg, salt, celery, and onions. Basic ingredients, right? Basic.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So that's Tuesday. Any questions?
Tuesday
about
potato Tuesday.
Any questions about Tuesday?
No, chef.
Okay.
Chef, which potato do you suggest using for the waxy potato for the potato salad?
We use Idaho or russet. If you cannot find either one, I would go ahead and use red skin potatoes. Okay. If you use red skin potatoes, then leave the skin on. Do not peel them. Okay. Just make sure they're medium diced.
Is there any reason why, chef, you mentioned on the red skin potato, not to peel them? Is it because immediately, right? Yeah.
The red skin potatoes, the skin is so soft, so delicate, you don't have to worry about peeling it. But I do have to say this. The skin does not get digested just like corn. The way it goes in, it comes out. Okay. Also, when you, as gross as that may sound, also when you, the elderly, the seniors, do not like to eat the red skin because they have their systems. They cannot digest the red skin potatoes. Okay.
Yeah, very acidy. Yeah.
Okay. So there you go. That's Tuesday's menu.
Chef,
Yes,
10-minute break.
let's go. Let's go a 10-minute break, guys.
I have to take care of all of you guys. So 10-minute break.
Global Pie, come back. 205, I'm gonna get a glass of water.
205, come back and we'll hit Wednesday. Thank you.
Oh no, Chef Miguel, I had a question. I guess
Out of the way now. Stuck. Chef Pava.
Yes.
What?
And first of all, Mr. Martin, where were you on Saturday?
What you talking about, Willis? I was there.
Where?
Where?
I was there at 7 a.m. and I took my test and got out at 8 o'clock.
Where?
Man, me and Alonda was in the same class.
Who was the instructor?
I don't even recall his name, honestly.
I don't either.
It wasn't us.
He never told us his name. He just took our he just took our little temperatures and that was it. We ran in and took the test and
you didn't come to where we were.
What you talking about, Willie?
And the only reason why I went that way is because I need to use the restroom, but I didn't know that you guys were administering the test at all.
We were doing the test, yeah.
Oh, well, we took it with
That's the one. Hey, Miguel, she was the one that was waving at us and told us how much she liked us, remember?
Yes, that was me.
That was, we were wondering where you were.
When you came into the restroom, so you used the restroom, right?
Yes.
Well, you told them you said you told them what I expected, right?
Yes, that was me.
Ah, okay.
But are you a Peshach, Miguel? I don't know, Pumpkin. I need to look at you again.
So that's what we're doing.
So we were supposed to be, well, that makes sense. Because I remember seeing Janet there and I didn't see we didn't see any of our classmates. It was just us. So we were just outside.
Well, I'm sorry then. I'll take back what I said. I'm sorry, Mr. Martin. I will not say anything else. Go ahead and ask the question.
Oh, yes. Chef Miguel, I have a question. Oh, whose question? You talking about me or? Sorry, I didn't mean to butt in.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, I had a real quick question, Chef Miguel, on the shrimp bisque and for the shrimp and grits. Remember, you said to fry it, but what am I frying it in? Like
in the pot.
No.
Man.
I walked into that.
What he's doing is toasting it in the pot.
I walked into that.
Well,
you can use a shallow pan.
During headlights.
You can use a shallow pan because you're only pan frying. You're only using half oil enough to cover the little puck, the little hockey puck midway. And
okay.
So it gets coated on both sides. But canola oil, saute a shallow pan or a stock pot, either way. But it doesn't have to really submerge. You're only pan frying midway.
Okay.
I have partial of Tuesday's production sheet done.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chef.
Okay.
We're
So I'm
ready.
trying to keep it organized because I've been having difficulty finding the recipes in the book. So
If you can't find them in the book, they're on the portal.
They're on the portal.
She froze. What's up, Mr. Lyric?
Okay, so are you gonna teach us different ways to make pasta, or are we just gonna learn the basic way to make pasta?
We are going to look the basic way.
So that means I gotta go get a rolling pin?
Yeah, you need to.
It would help.
Yep.
I'm gonna use up some other techniques and see how that works too.
You can use a bottle if you got a rolling pin, man. That's all I can say.
Shoot, we'll see. I don't know. I'm gonna use a bolster or something.
People that use a bottle, empty bottle, just to use as a rolling pin.
Yeah, for sure. No, I was just asking. I'm gonna need to get one anyways, but that's cool.
Yeah, I started today putting Post-it notes on all the recipes we're doing, and then posting out recipes in order of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This is gonna take a while.
Yeah.
But I started Saturday trying to find the recipes in the book, because I have to go shopping Sunday because H Mart is 40 minutes away. I can't do that in Dallas after class because it's rush hour.
I have a question about pastas and stuff.
Sure.
Do we ever touch on anything like gluten-free in terms of bread, pastas, and stuff like that?
It's going to be challenging to make a gluten-free pasta.
Right.
You do got to buy, I forget, rice flour, but it might not bind together. It will have some binding effect with the egg, but it might tend to fall apart. Rice flour is one of them. Tapioca flour is another one, but it's going to make gluten really elastic.
The only reason I was asking is because I know they have like gluten-free all-purpose flour out there. I just didn't know if it was even worth it.
Jonathan, are you in Austin?
No, but I will be.
Okay. There is a store called Make It Sweet, and they carry the best gluten flour that I know of. You can buy the gluten-free flour at H-E-B, and this other one that Make It Sweet sells, I made a gluten-free cookie the other day to die for. You didn't even know you were tasting a gluten-free cookie because I'm into healthy baking. So, but this gluten-free flour in Austin at Make It Sweet, absolutely fabulous. And I think it would be a great one to use for pasta. It would be a great one. I'm going to try it out, and I'm going to let you know, and I'll let you know the name of it, where else you can get it. It's a little bit more expensive. Are you gluten-free?
No, but someone really close to me is.
Okay, so that would be a great investment for you for baking and also making pasta or anything else that you want to make. It's a great, great option. And I will get you all that information so you do come into town. It's right there on Burnett, as they would say. You can pick up some gluten-free flour. Absolutely. I made puff pastry with it. Remember, how many people have you seen making a blitz dough or a puff pastry dough with gluten-free? Not many. A little bit crummy. You know that because gluten-free is crummier. But the outcome of it was so close to puff pastry that it blows your mind. It is so good. And we made cheese straws with it. Fabulous.
I made gluten-free empanadas, and I mean, just it was real crumbly.
Yeah,
but it doesn't handle like regular dough either.
Yeah, I want you to try the dough, and then you'll understand what it is. And I'll get you the recipe for the puff pastry if you're interested in that. Because yes. I am a health-free. I mean, not a health-free. I am more concerned about healthy baking for people, because I'm going to tell you the world is becoming more and more so every day, and we really need to pay attention to detail.
Thank you, Chef.
Okay, I'll get you that information, and you're going to love it. And you're going to love it. It's the best flour you could buy.
So, Mr. Jeffrey, to answer your question, yes, the shopping list is off. We're going to cover it after we're done with the lecture. That's why I'm going through the recipes one by one and take a look at the ingredients so we can match them with the shopping list before you guys head out. That answer your question?
Yes, Chef, thank you.
Okay.
My internet just keeps crashing. I had to call Spectrum and they're figuring it out.
Wow. Yeah.
They said they'd call me back.
But they give you such great deals on advertising.
Yeah, they told my mom that they gave her like 4Gs or like extra Gs and whatnot. And it's just, the internet hasn't improved ever. And it keeps disconnecting and saying that there's not an internet to be found, and it happens all the time. My Zoom always crashes, like everything always crashes. And I hate Spectrum so much. Like, annoying.
Yeah, man. I've been an AT&T customer since back in 07, 06.
Are they better?
I never had an issue. Ever had an issue. I had an issue when I switched from my Uverse, from my home internet and cable service, to Dish, because AT&T bought Dish. So
Yeah.
this great special is supposed to save me a lot of money. So I'll give it a try. So I switched to Dish. Hated it. Internet kept on crashing. The signal was lost, and it cost more money. So I canceled it and went back to Uverse. I hated it so much, I didn't want it. Like, no, get rid of it. So whenever
my mom doesn't like changing.
Whenever I see them on Sam's or Walmart about Dish, I'm like, don't even talk to me. Talk to the hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, never ever had an issue with AT&T. Always, when I have my phone contract is up, if I need to, I go ahead and upgrade. And costs me a few dollars here and there, but the plan you sign up for a 2-year contract and it's fine. So I never had an issue with AT&T.
Yeah. I've crashed like 4 times now today.
And mine was crashing too when we first started this online thing. It kept on crashing. So when I called the department, they found out that my modem was 2013 old, and it was 12 gigabytes. So they sent a service tech to replace the modem and increase the gigabyte to 24. So now my Zoom doesn't crash. I don't have no issues. But I'm not in the house, so
Yeah, they just gave us a new router because
Hey, Janet. Janet, could you text me for 1 minute, please? Can you text me? Thank you.
Yes, Chef, I'll do it right now.
Okay, I appreciate it. Anybody else have any questions? Mina, Christopher, anybody have any? Kobe? Sean, are you doing good? You got a little cubby hole right there listening to everything?
Yes, Chef, I'm doing good.
I see you. You don't have to have a hat on Monday, honey, because we're doing lecture. You don't have to have a hat. We're not in a kitchen, okay? Unless you're in I guess you're in the kitchen too. I am in too, but I'm not cooking.
It's just a little cold here where I'm at. I just moved.
Oh, did you? So where did you move to?
I moved about an hour north of Dallas.
Oh my gosh. So we're about 1 hour north of Dallas. I'm trying to think, because I go to Dallas quite often.
You guys, are you Louisville or Denton?
I'm more towards the Melissa area.
Okay. Do you like it better?
Yeah, I'm from here, and plus I just
kind of went home.
Yeah, it's more home. Plus I just got offered a job for $17 an hour cooking down here. So yeah.
You gotta go with the passion, right?
Oh yeah. Plus the head chef's an old friend of mine too.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad for you. Find happiness for yourself, okay?
Will do.
Yeah.
The Dallas area is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where's Timothy? He's in Breaksteel?
Who?
Timothy.
Timothy.
No, he's in Breaksteel.
I'm still looking for the ones that are not here, Sheffy.
No, because I received an email back from Teresa with Timothy, so I'm going to ask him if he received the email or not.
My gosh, this week is going to be a great week. We've got potatoes, we have pasta, Can you imagine learning how to make pasta this week with potatoes? And we got rice with risotto and black beans. I mean, what a great week. And then we got fabricating a chicken, sauteing a chicken breast, and blanched asparagus. My gosh, what a great week. So exciting.
Spoiler alert.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I mean, just think, 3rd week.
If people can't find that, what's it called? Somalian. Yeah, that stuff, that flour, I found it at Whole Foods after spending like 2 hours searching for it.
At Whole Foods?
You can also, you can substitute it with whole wheat flour. Or
I didn't know if
there's a
we
couple
could
other
substitute
things.
it. Okay, so at Whole Foods.
All right, everybody back? Wednesday's going to go really easy, really fast. The slide is not that long. The longest one is Thursday or Friday, I believe, the slide, but it's not that long. Okay. Everybody back?
I learned how to make a very good lasagna, chef.
Good.
I have the noodles and everything there, and I keep procrastinating. I'm gonna make it.
Okay.
And I've never done it.
It's good.
That's one of my favorite dishes. I love lasagna.
Everybody back? Everybody?
I'm just writing the production sheet.
Everybody gonna get tips in this food, right?
Everybody back, chef. Everybody.
Everybody, okay, cool, coolio.
I gotta do a little bit better on my production sheet. I admit it. I mean, I get like prescription summary. I mean, receipt summary. I was like, okay, what do?
That's all right. So let's talk about Thursday. I mean Wednesday. My bad. Let's go. Let's Wednesday. Pasta, pasta, pasta. My book and your book should be chapter 23, pages 675 to 682. That's where it should be in your book, correct? We're on the same page now, hopefully. Right, Ms. Alanda? Good, Ms. Jeffrey. Right on, right on. All right. So pasta made from unleavened dough or of wheat flour mixed with a liquid. Yes, you can substitute with wheat flour, but I'm going to give you 2 different recipes, and I'll explain why at the end. Okay. Do not use the one in the portal. I'm not going to go even go there. Okay. So scratch the recipe from the portal. Okay.
Oh, okay, okay,
This is
okay.
one of those days that you're not going to use the recipe in the portal for pasta. Got it?
Okay.
Got it.
The liquid is usually egg or water. Okay. The flour can be from almost any grain: wheat, buckwheat, rice, or combination of grains. But each flour or semolina, there's 2 different ones. If you use semolina flour, mix pasta, but the pasta is made from for a different kind of cooking or different kind of ingredient or recipe. So it's, yeah, you can use whole wheat and you can use semolina, but you got to take a look at what you're making with a pasta dough. Okay, we're going to be talking about that in a few minutes. So the dough can be colored and flavored with puree of vegetables, beet juice, spinach, roasted bell peppers, herbs, or other ingredients. It can be cut or extruded into a wide variety of shapes and sizes. Okay, pasta can be cooked fresh while the dough is still moist and pliable, or the dough can be allowed to dry completely before cooking. Pasta can be filled with a sauce in endless varieties of ways. It can stand alone or be used in salads, desserts, soups, and casseroles, right? Like turkey tetrazzini. Thanksgiving, you got turkey. Utilize the leftover turkeys with egg noodles. You got tetrazzini, turkey tetrazzini, okay? In Italy, pasta dishes are usually served as a separate course, often referred to as minestre. In other European countries, Asia, and the United States, pasta dishes may be served as an appetizer, entree, or side dish. In Italy, northern Italy, pasta is almost unheard of. Italy, It's utilized Central and South Italy. North is almost unheard of because so close to Austria and France, they use risotto, heavy cream, and butter. Central and South Italy, more pasta and olive oil. They probably don't use a lot of heavy cream or risotto or polenta to have a side dish. Okay, you're going to cover that. Hopefully, they'll cover that in regionals. If you are with me, I am going to cover that in detail. We'll go to regionals. Okay, identifying pastas. The better-known pastas are based on the Italian tradition of kneading the wheat flour with water and eggs to form a smooth, resilient dough. Keyword, smooth, resilient dough, okay? This dough is then rolled in very thin and cut into various shapes before being boiled in water or dried for longer storage. Commercially prepared dry pasta products are usually made with semolina. Semolina flour ground from hard durum wheat and available from specialty purveyors, has a rich, creamy color and produces a very smooth, durable dough. Okay, semolina dough requires a great deal of kneading. However, and bread flour is an acceptable substitute when preparing fresh pasta by hand. So you got semolina. If you can't find semolina, you can use bread flour, and I'll go with that in a few minutes. Okay, you can improvise, but again, just hold on. Okay. Asian pasta, are generally known as noodles, is made from wheat, rice, bean, or buckwheat flour. It is available fresh or dried from commercial purveyors and typically in specialty markets, especially when you make ramen noodles. To make ramen noodles, it takes about 3 days to make them. First, you got to toast the baking soda. You got to make the dough, knead it about 100 or 300 times, let it rest overnight, come back, knead it another 100 times, and you got to do it by hand. It takes quite a lot of labor, okay? Yes, you got to toast the baking soda for ramen noodles, okay? Just leave out the cracked torch on the side, not the kind of baking soda. Get it? So Italian style pasta, okay, made with pure semolina flour, which gives the dough a rich yellow color. Gray or streaked dough probably contains softer flours. You can make ribbons, tubes, shapes, Asian noodles, wheat noodles, rice noodles, bean starch noodles, buckwheat noodles. In the United States, we bastardized the names of Italian pasta. Okay, you got what we call here angel hair pasta. Say, right, angel hair pasta, we know it, right? You guys know what it is? In Spanish, we call it fideo, right?
Yes.
Angel hair pasta, but there's a technical name for angel hair pasta. You guys know what it is?
No.
Capellini is the classical scientific name for angel hair pasta, capellini. But here in the States, we call it angel hair. But in Italy, it's called capellini. Okay. In the States, we call we know this pasta by the name of bow tie pasta, right? Bow tie pasta. In Italy, it's farfalle. Okay, farfalle. Okay.
Say it again, Chef. Say it again.
Farfalle, F-A-R-F-A-L-L-E, farfalle. Here we know it as a bow tie. The other one, it's we call it rotini, little spiral shaped pasta, tricolor, red, yellow, and green, or red, white, and green. In Italy, it's called fusilli. You ever watch Jerry Seinfeld, the Fusilli show? Jerry Fusilli, get it? Fusilli. So fusilli is in Italy, rotini is in the United States. Okay, just a couple of names. Because again, we tend to bastardize the names and call it our own. Okay. So let's talk about fresh pasta versus dry pasta, boiling down the differences. Many of us grew up with the kitchen pantries that overflow with boxes upon boxes of dry pasta. You got Del Cecco, you got Barilla, you got all kinds of ragu, all kinds of different name brands. Okay, in all shapes and sizes and textures. These dinner time mainstreams came from the brands like Del Cecco, which I just talked about, Ronzini, Barilla. Those are the three major pasta producers: Del Cecco, Ronzini, Barilla. Okay, you go to the store and you find them on the shelves. All reliable sources of pasta that seem to be pair perfectly with an all-day Sunday sauce or a quick day marinara. Okay, home cooks and families they fed We're all thoroughly content with this dried pasta lifestyles and never being considered an alternative to the foods that shape their Italian-American upbringing. Of course, we were all fully aware that fresh pasta, many of us can even recall kitchen memories of flour, eggs, pasta, rolling machines, maybe not, but it was always far more common to break an open the box of dry pasta or spaghetti or penne rigatoni when the pasta and sauce was on the dinner menu. Okay, you can go buy a jar of ragu, but why? You save $4.55, you make it fresh in your home. Now you're gonna know how to make pasta, right? Yes, it is like 99 cents, the top value of Walmart, whatever, but you can make it fresh. Let me tell you guys what, once you go fresh pasta, you probably never go back. It's a huge difference, and it's so much better, okay? Sometime in the 1900s or 2000, food found its way into the pop culture. This foodie movement spawned the Food Network and the similar entertainment efforts that revealed eating to trendy new heights. While this phenomenon led to a celebration of cultures from around the world, it has also resulted in unfortunate instances of food discrimination, where pretentious types would scoff at any foods deemed not fresh. Truly, convenience became a pejorative term in the food industry. Again, it's a lot easier to go buy the Checo, Barilla, Top Value, and use it as a pasta, but if you know the technique, you can make it fresh at home, okay? In some foodie circles, dry pasta was labeled as an inferior to its fresh counterpart and unworthy sauces prepared by five-star chefs at home and cooks alike. Box pasta is fine. I use it once in a while because I'm not going to, by myself, I'm not going to make fresh pasta, but it's okay. If there was ever a food opinion that was undercooked, it's that. The truth is, both fresh and dry pasta belong in your kitchen repertoire. There are recipes that benefit from having fresh pasta on hand. Well, there are some preparations that will be far more successful when you utilize boxed dry pasta. And at the end, isn't the main goal to create a meal that is above all else delicious. Before choosing what dish to make, which type of pasta to use, it is important to know what separates the two variations. So what are the main differences between the two forms of pasta when should you choose the box versus the fresh, vice versa, okay? The boxed pasta, spaghetti, you cook it, you take it, you strain it, and you put it in a bowl, but it's hard to plate up. You want to do a little mound and just go blah. The fresh pasta is full of starch. You cut it, you shape it, you cook it, and you bundle it into a little mound. It'll stay in that shape because dry pasta has been dried and it loses its starchiness. It's not going to hold that shape. Okay? Fresh pasta and dry pasta are actually two completely different types of pasta. Not all pasta begins like life as a fresh pasta. For example, you don't take fresh pasta, hang it on a food dehydrator to make dry pasta. Yeah. And dry pasta certainly isn't fresh pasta that has gone bad or left outside to stale like bread. Two types of pasta are actually comprised of unique ingredients, which end up resulting in two products that are basically two entirely different foods. Dry pasta is made with a different kind of dough and without eggs, which along with flour are the primary ingredients for fresh pasta. And I will give you guys those recipes in a minute, okay? The two separate separations produce disparate textures, taste, colors. What's more, many of the pasta shapes you know and love are only possible for dry pasta, okay? So here's some more specific look at how the two types of pasta differ. Dry pasta, made from semolina flour, water, and salt. Semolina, flour, water, and salt. Can be stored at room temperature almost indefinitely. Air-dried, bronze extruded pastas originating in southern Italy. The firmness of dry pasta allows it to hold up to the heartiest sauces. The rough texture helps flavorful sauces to cling to dry pastas. Most shapes of dry pasta are double in shape when cooked. Fresh pasta contains eggs and additional water. More tender and dried than dried, it takes half the time to cook. The delicate texture makes it perfect for cream and dairy-based sauces. Fresh pasta is far more smooth than dried pasta. Fresh pasta is more commonly in northern Italy. It tends to be more expensive than dried, and it also must be refrigerated because of the labor that goes in making it. Okay. So have you heard the term al dente, right? Al dente means to the teeth. When you bite into it, supposed to have a little bit of resistance. That means to the teeth. This is the toothsome that all the pasta chefs worth their salt strive for in the kitchen. The firm structure, the main calling card for the dry pasta, provides the strength needed for the dry pasta to stand up to the heavier sauces with more ingredients. Some of the very best long dried pastas, including spaghetti, rigatoni, linguine, and bucatini, all take extremely well to tomato sauces and ingredients like meat, garlic, and oil, capers, olives, anchovies, beans, peas, and chopped veggies. Three main pasta sauces pairings have become classics in Italian American cooking. So when should you use fresh pasta? Fresh pasta, on the other hand, isn't intended to be served al dente. Instead, this pasta should be prepared until it's tender and almost velvety to the touch and smooth to the tooth. This makes fresh pasta ideal for delicate sauces that use melted butter or whole milk as a base. Okay, like Alfredo or carbonara. Carbonara is not a pasta with bechamel, bacon bits, and peas. That is not carbonara. Okay, which are magnificent with fresh pasta like tagliatelle, pappardelle, and fettuccine. All have about the same shape widthness, okay, but the different lengths and widthness.
Chef, I have a question.
Sure.
Excuse me. Okay, is there a more professional way to check if your noodle or pasta is al dente versus, I don't know? Because what I normally do is I just take like one out of the pot and just like squeeze it, but I'm just not sure a more professional way to check.
No, squeeze it or bite it. Bite into it.
If it sticks to the wall, it's done.
If you bite it and it's crunchy.
I was gonna say if you throw it against the wall and it sticks.
That's how my grandmother taught me. She was like, "Hey, this is how you check your pasta," and just chunk it at the wall. And I'm just like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's crunchy to the bite, then you gotta put it back. It's not done yet. Okay, it's gotta. When you buy
Question, Chef, can we make this? Is there a way you can make a recipe for gluten-free pasta?
Yes, there is. Chef Paula was covering that in a minute. What was it, Chef Paula? You go to what? Make it sweet?
Yeah, I'm finding it out right now. I text her to find out the name of it so I can announce it to you. I'm going to tell you something. I've tried probably 7 or 8 different types of flour. And this last weekend, I came across the latest one because I investigate a lot. I do a lot of test cooking. And I'm going to tell you, it blew me away to make puff pastry and cookies. And I bet you, I'm going to try the pasta out when I get the name brand of it. I'm going to go down there and I'm going to make the pasta and let you know what the result is before you go buy it and invest in it. Because I'll tell you if it's going to be good. I know for the cookies, I know for puff pastry, it blew me away. I couldn't get over the likeness. It is a little crummy. Remember, gluten-free is always going to be a little bit more crummier.
Yeah.
But the taste factor was phenomenal.
What about keto? Is there a keto recipe for pasta?
What did you say?
I don't think so.
Keto. What? You know, because you can get keto recipe. I have keto recipe.
Oh, keto? Oh, I don't. I'm not on that diet thing. I don't know.
I don't know because pasta is a complex carb, so it might be different to find the keto recipe for that one.
I would definitely.
You could probably make it out of like cauliflower or something, but it wouldn't be good, and it would be very like hard to do because of the texture.
I use a lot of I use zucchini or squash spaghetti.
Well, I'm going to get you that name, and then I'm going to try it out.
We call it spaghetti, but it's not original spaghetti. Just a cut of the zucchini. It's long strings.
True.
So here we go. When you use fresh pasta, on the other hand, it is intended to be served al dente. Instead, quick note about pappardelle. You might be saying to yourself, wait a minute, pappardelle is a fresh pasta. It goes wonderfully with a hearty, meaty bolognese sauce, which gives the key to a great bolognese is the inclusion of simmering milk, tomato-based sauces. Someone makes it pappardelle to go pasta for bolognese. Bolognese is a 2-day process. It is a 2-day process. You use ground veal, ground beef, and ground pork to make bolognese. It takes 2 days to make the bolognese sauce, okay? Grains, let's talk about grains. I'll give you the recipe of the pasta at the end, okay? So hold on, guys. Grains, chapter 23, pages 665 and 67. That's what you find about grains, okay? Grains, botanically, grains are grasses that bear edible seeds. Corn, rice, and wheat are the most significant. Both the fruit, that is the seed of the kernel, and the plant that are called a grain. Most grain kernels are protected by a hull or husk. Kernels are composed by these distinctive parts: the bran, endosperm, and the germ. The bran is the tough outer layer covering the endosperm. The bran is a good source of fiber and B-complex vitamins. Endosperm is the largest part of the kernel and the source of protein and carbohydrates, the starch. It is the part that is used primarily in milk products such as flour. The germ is the smallest portion of the grain. It is the only part that contains fat, also rich in thiamine. The bran, endosperm, and germ can be compared to milling. So identifying grains. Some products are available in a stone ground form. What this means that the grains are well ground with a stone mill rather than the steel blades. So you got like oats, it's one of them. That's where you have the steel cut oats or groundstone oats. Okay, two different ones. Okay. Holding and purling, stone grinders are gentler and more precise, so they are less likely over to grind the grain. Stone ground products will always be labeled such as are initially are more expensive than steel ground ones because stone grounds take more time to ground them. Okay. Corn, the only grain that is all sweetened as a fresh as vegetable. It is used as a dry grain. Dates back several thousand years in Central America, preceded its use as a vegetable. Cornmeal, made by drying and grinding special type of corn kernel known as dent, which may be yellow, white, or blue. Cornmeal is most often used in breads, coating in fried foods, cooked in polenta or mush. Products may be made with cornmeal, have a gritty texture and sweet but starchy flavor. Hominy. It's in pozole, and it's also utilized. It was back in the early ages in the northeastern part of the United States. Native Americans had hominy back then before the Pilgrims landed. Also known as
the origin of shrimp and grits, chef. The Native Americans. And
yep.
Yeah. But I did not know that corn was a grain. I didn't know that.
Oh my gosh.
I did not know that. I did not know that, chef. I'm today years old.
Do you have a question?
Yes.
So for the polenta, did we need it like the pre-made one in the tube or like the weird thingy, or do we need the grain?
The grain.
Okay, because I got both because I got the normal polenta and I was like, wait, I don't think I need this. So I got like a small thing of it from Whole Foods when I found the flour that took ages to find.
Yeah, it's the grain.
That flour almost made me fight someone.
Oh.
Like trying to find it, it took 6 stores, 2 hours, driving to like 5 different towns.
Yeah, it's sometimes hard to find. It depends, like like where you live at, so it's hard to find it. And now that everybody carries it because some people don't know what it is and they don't know how to cook with it. So
Whole Foods has it for less than $5.
Yeah.
Like, thankfully.
Native Americans, also known as pozole or sand, it is dry corn that has been soaked and hydrated in lime or lye. This causes the kernels to swell, loosening its hulls. Hulls and germs are removed and the kernel is dried. While these yellow kernels resemble popcorn, but with a soft, chewy texture and smoky, sour flavor, hominy is available dried or cooked or canned. It can also be served as a side dish used for stews or soups. Masa harina is a finely ground flour made from dry hominy. It is used for making breads, tortillas, tamales, and other Mexican and Southwestern dishes. So hominy is what they make masa from, okay? Grits, traditionally made by grinding dried hominy. That's like Alana was talking about. Hominy, okay? Grits is dry hominy. These are tiny white granules that can be used in baked dishes, but are most served with hot breakfast cereal. Usually topped with butter or cheese. Quick cooking and instant grits are available. So when you eat grits, you're eating hominy. Keep that in mind, okay? You say, "I've never had hominy." You had grits, you had hominy, okay?
I love grits.
Rice, baby, is a starchy seed of a semi-aquatic grass, probably originating in the Indian subcontinent or the Southeast Asia. Rice is used as a staple by more than half the world's population. Rice can be incorporated into almost any cuisine, from Asia to Spanish to classic French. Its flavor adapts to the foods and seasonings with the rice is cooked and served. Its texture adds an appealing chewiness to meet the poultry dishes, salads, and breads and puddings. Rice is not limited to a side dish, but may be used in stews and curries for stuffing vegetables, game birds, and puddings, salads, beverages such as Mexican horchata, and breads. Rice is divided into 3 types of base on the size: long grain, medium grain, and short grain. Long grain rice is the most versatile and popular worldwide. This grain remains fluffy and separate when cooked. It can become sticky if overcooked or stirred frequently during cooking. Short grain rice is more than starch, becomes quite tender and sticky when cooked. Italian risotto, you're making that risotto, okay? You're also making rice pilaf. Japanese sushi and Spanish paella, they use a short grain rice. Traditionally made with a short grain rice, the appearance and starchy content of medium grain rice falls somewhere in between. Medium grain rice becomes sticky when cool, so it's best eaten freshly, made and piping hot. Long grain rice, medium grain rice, and short grain rice are available in different process forms. All rice originally brown. The grains can be left whole with the bran attached to the brown rice, or they can be prepared pearl for the more familiar polished with white rice. Both brown rice and white rice are processed into converted rice and instant rice. Okay. Converted rice is parboiled to remove the surface starch. This procedure also forces nutrients from the bran into the grain's endosperm. Therefore, converted rice retains the more nutrients than regular milled white rice. Although the flavor is the same, converted rice is neither pre-cooked nor instant. In fact, it cooks more slowly than regular milled white rice. For instant cooking, quick cooking, rice is widely available and useful in its form and concern. Instant rice is treated by fully cooking and then flash freezing milled rice. Okay. Arborio is round, short grain rice used primarily in Italian dishes as risotto, very sticky, white in color, and mild flavor. Basmati, one of my favorites. Basmati is one of the finest, longest grain rices in the world. It grows in the Himalayan foothills and is preferred for Indian cuisine. Oh, I love some green curries, matar pulao, saag paneer, biryani. It is highly aromatic with a sweet, delicate flavor and creamy yellow color. Basmati rice is usually aged to improve its aromatic qualities and grainy with a sandy texture. Therefore, it should not be substitute for all the white flour, breads, or baked goods. Okay, millet is a high-protein cereal grain or bland, lightly nutty flavor and white color, used principally as an animal fodder in the United States. Millet can be cooked and eaten like rice or toasted like buckwheat and cooked like kasha. It can also be ground or flour for baking, but it can be combined with wheat flour. Millet is usually sold whole, as the husk is extremely hard. Oats. After rice, oats are probably the most widely acceptable grain, whole grain product in the American diet. Oats are consumed daily as a hot breakfast cereal and are used in breads, muffins, cookies, and other baked goods. Oatmeal cookies with raisins. Oh, yeah. Right?
I love them. I love them.
You can even make Mexican.
I love my steel cuts oatmeal
Pass on
in the morning.
the raisins, but the oatmeal cookies, yes.
Right. Or chocolate chip. Oat groat is the whole oat kernel with a mostly husk removed. It contains both the bran and the germ. Steel cut oats, sometimes known as Irish oats or groats, are used toasted and then cut into small pieces with the steel blades. Roll oats, marketed old-fashioned oats, are groats that have been steamed, have cooking time. Instant oats are partially cooked and dried before rolling, so that they need to be rehydrated in boiling water. Rolled oats are quick cooking oats that can be used interchangeably, but instant oats should not be a substitute for most recipes. Oat bran is the outer covering, or whole oat. It is available in separate products. Of the rolled cutouts contain some oat bran. Quinoa is a native to South American Andes. It's commonly common for the Incans, would refer to as the mother grain. Although not botanically true grain, quinoa's tiny seeds are treated as such. The grains are small, flattened spheres, approximately 1/16 of an inch in diameter. Ring in the germ, they become translucent when cooked and have slightly smoky or sesame seed-like flavor. Several varieties of quinoa are available, ranging in color from dark brown to almost white. The larger white varieties are mostly common and considered superior. Okay? Your menu on Wednesday. Your menu on Wednesday. Okay. This is what we got coming up Wednesday. Okay. You have basic pasta dough. Okay. Basic pasta dough. Okay. I'm going to give you the recipe just in a split second. Okay. basic pasta dough, okay? You're gonna make fettuccine, and you're gonna use your tomato sauce that you made last week for this fettuccine. You're also gonna make creamy polenta and crispy polenta, 2 different ones. And you're gonna soak some black beans, okay? So to make fresh pasta dough, you're gonna follow the pictures like on the right, left-hand side. You're gonna make the amount of your semolina. Put your, you're not gonna use eggs. It's not gonna give you the recipe, okay? But this is with 00 flour, okay? So let me give you the recipe for the pasta dough first before we go any further, okay? Here we go. Oh, really? What the heck? What happened? Really? See if I can fix it.
That's what I see.
Yeah, it got messed up on my slide.
Is this the same recipe that's in the book?
No.
No.
Oh.
Make sure you get a notepad, guys, because this is Chef Miguel's recipe. Get it.
Okay.
Get a paper and pencil to write it down. You're gonna need it for Wednesday. Wednesday is the day for pasta.
Is it a problem if we didn't get the polenta grain, but we got the polenta in a tube?
Yes, because you're supposed to make it into a tube.
Oh, okay. So do I have to go find the grain?
If you don't find polenta, you can use cornmeal.
Okay. Thank you.
Here we go. Now it's fixed. Okay. Now it's fixed.
Okay.
So semolina recipe. Okay. You have 120 grams of semolina. 50 grams of water.
How many?
120 grams of semolina. And 50 grams of water, cold water. Okay. 00 flour, also known as pizza flour, it's another type of pasta dough recipe. The 00 flour or pizza flour need 100 grams. 1 egg yolk, 1 egg. 2 different kinds of pasta dough. You get one that is semolina, one that is flour. Once again, semolina, 120 grams, water 50 grams. The flour recipe is 100 grams of flour, 1 egg yolk, 1 egg.
And no water? Oh, that the egg will take care of the water. Okay, got it.
Okay.
Is it going to matter if we don't have a scale for this?
You kind of need a scale. So if you,
this should have, okay.
If you don't have a gram scale, try to convert grams into ounces. Remember, 2080 grams equals 1 ounce.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's your 2 pasta doughs. You are going to make the semolina pasta dough for Wednesday. You're not going to make the flour pasta dough Wednesday. Okay. And I will tell you guys why. So my notes here. Yes, Sheppy, you got a question? My notes here have semolina pasta dough is perfect for fettuccine, spaghetti, and lasagna. Flour pasta dough is perfect for ravioli or tortellini. The difference between 00 / pizza flour and bread flour or AP flour, what's the difference? Pizza flour or 00 flour has a protein content of 14%. So the protein content in 00 / pizza flour is 14%. Bread flour is hovering around 12%. AP is lower than that. Okay.
So it's good for ravioli and what else?
Ravioli, tortellini, any kind of pasta techniques you're going to stuff it with. Okay. Why is that? Because semolina is a lot hardier. Okay? It's a lot hardier. When you make that dough, you're going to make it and knead it by hand until it forms into a ball dough and is very smooth. No craters or pores on the pasta dough. Okay, you're going to let that rest for about 20 minutes. Okay, you're going to bring it out, dust your flour, table with flour. AP flour is fine. Put the pasta, roll it around the flour, pick it up, dust your table with flour, put it upside down, roll it again, pick it up, dust the flour with table with flour, put it down, and then press it gently with your rolling pin, and then roll it outwards, not back and forth. Because again, semolina has a lot of gluten. It's going to fight. It's going to resist against you. Okay, it's going to try to pull back. So roll it outwards or downwards or sideways, again, away from you. Okay, until it becomes very, very thin. This recipe that you have here, 120 grams of semolina, 50 grams of water, is perfect for 1 or 2 orders. That's all you need. Okay. The 00 flour, it both have the same technique. You make a little mound, make a little hole. Semolina, you got water and you fold it in until it becomes a dough. The flour, you pull it a mound, you put your egg.
Practitioner,
Your egg yolk, your egg. You fold it in.
I need to have it looked at by.
Only difference with the flour recipe is good. It's going to keep on getting moist. You're going to have to add more flour because your hands are going to get sticky. Okay. When you're working with a 2-dough, semolina is easier to work with. You don't need to keep on adding flour as you're pressing and cutting it. 00 flour or pizza or flour pizza. I mean flour dough, flour pasta dough. The more you need it, the more moisture you're going to extract from that dough, the more flour you're going to add into it. Okay. The flour recipe for the pasta, if you're going to use the pasta machine, like I said, the more you need it, it's going to extract the moisture. It's going to make a huge mess in your rollers in your pasta machine. And then your pasta is going to, pasta machine is not going to work. If you
I gotta buy rollers.
if you roll it by hand, it's going to stick to the bottom of your table. So you need to constantly flour because again, you're extracting the moisture out of it. Okay.
Yes.
Constantly flour it. And even when you flour it and you have the nice thin consistency, you're going to fold it, it's going to stick to it. So flour pasta, the recipe, pizza or 00 flour, is really, really tricky and finicky and is really delicate. So you really have to work at it. A lot of elbow grease. Okay. But again, do not use the one on the portal. The one on the portal has a combination of semolina and flour. That is crazy. No way. Okay. So there you go. This is why you're going to use semolina recipe, this one, instead of the one on the portal. Now you know the 2 differences. One is flour for ravioli and tortellini, and one is for fettuccine spaghetti, okay, or lasagna. Let me go back. So basic pasta dough, okay. I'm not going to go to the recipe. Let's take a look at a quick video how to make it by hand, okay? Really? There we go, okay? This is how to make the pasta dough by hand, okay? Here we go. I'm going to put the link on the chat, okay, too. One.
Jen, all recipes number semolina and egg pasta recipe says nothing beats fresh pasta. And this simple recipe is the best thing ever. Use this recipe to any style of pasta you like, from fettuccine to ravioli to lasagna. Semolina is a special variety of wheat flour available at health food stores and gourmet grocery stores. Let's begin this recipe by sifting together 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 cups of semolina flour, and a pinch of salt.
Again, you're not using this recipe, okay? We're looking at that technique. So don't get confused, all right?
And sift onto a clean work surface. Use a fork to make a deep well in the center. Crack 6 large eggs in a bowl. Pour them into the well. Squeeze the eggs and yolk gently with a fork. And begin to incorporate the flour mixture from the sides of the well.
Same technique, but you're not using eggs, you're using water. Semolina and water.
Okay. Right.
When the mixture becomes too thick to mix with a fork, begin kneading it with your hands. Dust the dough and work surface with semolina flour as needed to keep the dough from sticking.
AP flour is fine. Okay, even though your dough, semolina, you can use AP flour to dust your table.
Knead the dough for 8 to 12 minutes or until it's smooth and supple. Wrap the dough in plastic. And allow it to rest at room temperature for about 30 minutes. Unwrap the dough. Divide the dough into smaller pieces. And a small piece at a time, roll it out using a pasta machine or a rolling pin.
Rolling pin, if you don't have a pasta machine, okay, it's fine.
To a thickness of about 1/16 of an inch.
1/16 of an inch thick.
Or any desired thickness. Dust with semolina flour as needed.
AP flour.
Cut the pasta into your favorite style of noodle, such as fettuccine.
So if you don't have a pasta machine, once you get the thickness of the pasta dough, dust it with flour. Okay, dust it tremendously with flour. Fold it again, and then fold it again. So you're gonna fold it again, okay? And once you have about 3 folds, you're gonna turn it horizontal in front of you, and you're gonna cut about a 1/4 inch thickness on the sides, okay? And you're gonna, once you cut them, you're gonna stretch them out. That is your fettuccine. You're gonna grab the fettuccine, okay? Not a little bit. You're gonna grab it in segments, okay? Fluff it, put it on a little sheet tray, dust it with flour, and fluff it again and dust it again with flour. You're gonna have about maybe 2 or 3 different bundles of fettuccine. Don't pile it all together because again, the weight of it is gonna extract the moisture. It's gonna become a clumpy, huge mess. So you need to divvy the pasta when it's cut, divvy it into 2 or 3 little different bundles, dust it with flour and fluff it, okay? Don't be afraid of using too much flour because you don't want the pasta dough to stick after it's being cut. And told you guys, if you don't separate it, it's going to stick because it's going to extract the moisture with its own weight. You're going to have a clumpy pasta. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to roll it back in again. You're going to have to press it. It's going to be another mess, okay? And then once you have it fluffed up in different bundles, have your pot of boiling water with a teaspoon of salt, okay? And then cook each bundle separate, not all of it at the same time. Because what happens when you cook all the pasta at the same time, it's going to tend to go back to its original shape, and it's going to have another huge clumpy mess. As it's boiling, try to gently separate each bundle so it cooks evenly in your boiling water. When you know it's done, like Ms. Alanda said, bite it with your teeth. No crunchiness. We call that to the al dente. When you find no resistance, strain it out and shock it in ice water. And then strain it again, put it in a separate container, toss it with some oil, set it aside. Okay, toss it with some oil because if you don't, again, it is still bleeding starch. It'll go back to its own shape. You're gonna have a clumpy mess. Okay, So shock it in ice water, strain it, rinse it, put it in a bowl, fluff it, oil, fluff it again, and let it sit, okay? And then right before service, you're gonna heat up the tomato sauce. You're gonna add the pasta to tomato sauce and heat that sauce in the pasta, okay? That's it for that one. So that's it for that one, guys. Let me go with the next item on the menu, on the list, okay? So that's your fresh pasta dough. Semolina flour, 100 grams, 120 grams, right? And then 50 grams.
How much is that semolina flour?
120 grams semolina flour.
No, I'm saying like cost. How much it cost?
I don't know.
$5
for half a pound. And then you're gonna reheat tomato sauce and add the pasta to it. You're gonna heat them both together at the same time, all right? Crispy polenta. Let's take a look at, see if we, really? And creamy polenta. So those are the next two items on the list, okay, guys? Crispy. So let me pull the, where is it? All right, let me go back and pull that recipe from the portal so we can all be on the same page. We're looking at day 13 now. Okay. On the recipe, go back, day 13. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So if I click on this pasta dough, okay, here's the recipe for the pasta dough. Okay. It calls for egg, olive oil, salt, AP flour, semolina, and white vinegar. You don't need that. All you need is semolina and water. Okay, salt is going to be in the water. You don't need to salt your pasta because the tomato has a lot of flavor. Then you can season your tomato sauce as you go, but you don't need to add salt on that one, okay? So that's on your pasta dough. Use the recipe I just gave you guys. Don't worry about the one in the portal. Crispy polenta. Let's take a look at the recipe, okay? Here we go, okay? Crispy polenta. You got chicken stock, which you saved. You got cornmeal, salt and pepper, Parmesan cheese grated, whole butter, cornmeal, salt, Parmesan, whole butter. Remember those ingredients, 4, okay? So cut the recipe. This makes 32 ounces. You don't need, so 2 cups of chicken stock, half a cup of cornmeal, pinch of salt, 3 ounces cheese, and about 2 or 3 ounces whole butter. Bring the liquid and salt to a boil. Once it starts boiling, slowly add your cornmeal while whisking constantly to prevent lumps, okay? Lower the heat and simmer for 30 minutes. Stir frequently. Finish with butter and Parmesan, fold it in. Season with the taste. Scrape the polenta into a butter parchment lined half sheet tray or cookie tray to an even thickness, about maybe an inch thick, okay? And spread it with a nice, your rubber spatula or your offset little spatula you have, okay? And chill, let it sit. To serve, unmold the polenta or cut it into whatever shape you want. You got a round cookie cutter, use it. You can cut into squares and then cut into triangles, okay? If you have a grill, you can grill it. If you don't, pan sear it on a saute pan with a little bit of oil. That is crispy polenta. Be careful with your pan sear because sometimes if you don't follow the recipe correctly, it's going to stick to your pan. It's going to fall apart. Okay, so make sure you have that those ingredients accurately measured, and you're going to pan sear it and remove it with your rubber spatula and turn it over so you have a nice charred look on the outside. That is your crispy polenta. Okay.
So we're using the chicken stock still?
Correct.
That's what you said. Okay, I'm just making sure.
Let's take a look.
It's so good.
Let's take a look at the soft polenta. Okay.
Jeff, let me ask a question before you move on to, with the cornmeal, is it the coarse or the fine?
It's the coarse.
Great, because I have 2 bags. Great, awesome, awesome.
Next one, your soft polenta. Chicken or vegetable stock? Either way, chicken or vegetable stock. Polenta, okay? Yellow onion, small dice. Olive oil, garlic mince, mushrooms quartered, basil, we're gonna chiffonade ours, oregano, butter, salt, heavy cream, Parmesan, and maybe some basil spray for garnish, okay? And again, it makes 1 quart, 32 ounces. You don't need all that. Cut the recipe by half, okay?
Okay.
Lightly season liquid with salt and bring to a boiling. Add the polenta while whisking constantly to prevent any lumps. Lower the heat and simmer for 39 minutes. Stir in frequently. Saute the onions, garlic, and mushrooms with olive oil till tender. Add basil and oregano. Scald the cream, add the polenta, add the butter, add 1/3 of the mushroom mixtures, add Parmesan and season to taste. Adjust consistency with stock. Serve immediately and garnish with the remaining mushroom mixture. Okay. That's your soft polenta. See, this one has a lot more ingredients. Mushrooms retain a lot more moisture, so it's gonna make it more softer. Okay.
Chef, what does scald cream mean?
Who?
It says like scald cream. What does that mean?
Make sure that it's nice and hot. Scalding is when it's coming out to the stock pot, it's going to overflow. That's what we call scalding. Okay. All right. On the same page, guys?
Yes.
Right. Cool.
Crispy polenta, creamy polenta. Yes.
Thursday.
Cut the recipe in half.
14th, Thursday. We're going to identify some grains, okay? We're going to identify some grains because this is the day you're going to cook some rice pilaf and also some risotto, okay? Identify some grains, okay? First, we got millet, gluten-free, high in fiber, mild in flavor, treat it like rice, or try subbing it for quinoa, okay? Wild rice, actually grass that grows in the lakes and streams. Wild rice is not technically rice. It's not rice. It's grass. So somebody has wild rice on the menu, you're eating grass. that's it.
Oh my God.
Very simple, okay?
Hey, the Big Ben stuff, the
It's
wild
good.
rice mixture is still good.
It's still it's the shiznit. It's dang good. Tastes like white. Takes a while to cook, but it stays deliciously al dente. Okay. Barley. Most nutritious barley is hullless or hull, not pearl. Contains more bran. Okay. Wheat berries. Kernels are whole wheat grain. Bran and germ intact. Hard wheat is generally chewer and tender. Soft wheat. Frica. These grains come with green and underripe. Wheat is then roasted and smoked, giving its toasty flavor. Try using to make tabbouleh. Okay. You got amaranth, considered the superfood of the Aztecs. Amaranth is seen as all the 9 essential amino acids, making a complete protein. For those of you who are vegan,
Yeah.
okay. Sorghum. These gluten-free free grains, generally with saucy vinaigrettes, they'll greedily absorb it. So amaranth, sorghum. Okay. You got farro. Hardy wheat kernel is great in salads and soups, or used in place of arborio rice to make farroto, not risotto. Get it? Farroto. Ryeberry. If you like pumpernickel bread and Templeton rye whiskey, get to know the slender green tinted grains they came from. Ryeberries. Spelt. Smooth, shiny outer layer that is intact when cooked, making ideal sauté dishes. It is likely to stick to the pan. Black rice again. Black rice, thanks to its relatively thin bran layer, Chinese black rice cooks fairly quickly. It delivers deep flavor and looks amazing in salads. So legumes, okay? We're gonna talk about legumes. You got peas, chickpeas, soybean, white bean, red bean, brown lentils, green lentils, red lentils, black lentils, peanuts, lima beans, okay? Legumes. Different kind of legumes, okay? Lentils, brown lentils, all kinds, okay? Crops of legumes, black beans, or turtle black beans as they're called, have a soft, creamy texture that is great on its own or in any number of South Central American dishes. Brown beans, similar to in taste and texture to black, pinto or kidney beans, you can usually use them interchangeably. Navy beans, otherwise known as haricot, pearl haricot beans, Boston bean, white pea bean, or pea bean. You are larger in an oval, slightly flat shape. They become creamy when cooked, so they're great for smashing to make thick soups and creamy dips. And also to the French cassoulet, it is to die for delicious. Got confit, pork, bacon. Lentils, coming on colors throughout brown and green. There are varieties you'll find most often. It holds its texture well when cooked, making it great as a base for veggies and burgers. Red lentils have another seed shell removed, meaning they are quicker cooking and break down more. The great addition to soups and stews. Peas have been split down the middle, cook faster, classic in Dutch pea soup.
I love chickpeas.
Chickpeas or garbanzo beans, Mediterranean Middle Eastern staple. With a rich nutty flavor, they're great for roasting, adding to soups, whipping to hummus, or sprinkling over salads. Hummus among us, delicious, with some tahini, some sesame seed oil.
Oh God.
With some grilled peanut butter.
Love it.
Okay. Split chickpeas. Typically, the split version of the desi chickpeas, smaller yellow variation of chickpeas, common in Indian cuisine, what they're known as chana dal. Okay.
Oh, I never seen that one.
Chana dal. Don't get it confused with the bad word in Indian. Chana. It means a-hole.
Chana, yes.
Now you know a bad word in Indian. Chana means a-hole.
Promise I won't say it, Chef.
How to cook legumes. How to cook. Freshness is really important when it comes to dry legumes. According to the Dry Bean Council, beans that have been stored for 12 months or favorable conditions may never soften. Older beans will also have declining nutrient levels. The best are aged or fresh dry beans from harvest from 4 months old. If you have some legumes on hand, you will never become as soft as regular legumes. As a good scientist, Harold McGee, remember I was talking about that book about science and food? Harold McGee is a great author. Dry legumes become resistant to softening when they are stored for a long time, months at a room temperature or high humidities. This resistance results in a number of changes in bean cell walls and interiors, including the formation of woody lignin, the conversion of phenolic compounds into tannins and crossing proteins to form a water-resistant coating around the starch granules. There's no way to reverse these changes and made into hard-cooked beans as regular beans. Unfortunately, there's no easy way to assess the age of the dry legumes. Look for whole, firm, bright legumes with a slight sheen. Other legumes will look dull, appear darker in color, and have more cracked skins. So when you go buy the dry beans, take a look at see how they look. Okay. To soak or not to soak, it depends. I don't like to soak my black-eyed peas because they cook faster. I like to soak the black beans and the chickpeas because they're a lot tougher, more resistant.
Yes, that is true.
Even
yes.
navy beans. Okay.
You said, Chef, you don't soak your dry black-eyed peas?
I know. They cook faster. And let me tell you why. Hoppin' John, oh, it's the shizness. Hoppin' John, oh my goodness. Some bacon fat on it, with some spices.
Oh, yes.
Chef just love his little fat on and everything. I see it.
The next day becomes Skipping Jenny. It's called in the South. Okay. So to soak or not to soak, much conflicting information about soaking dry beans. Some said that they start a day ahead. Yes, some of them I do, but not my black-eyed peas. Some say soak overnight for a couple of hours. Yet others maintain that you don't have to soak it at all. Really, it's more of a personal preference than it both pros and cons of soaking. Things you'll need to consider are cooking time. The consensus that soaking reduces cooking time. Yes, it does. And also the water, depending on the type of legume you use. Some smaller legumes, such as lentils and split peas, do not need to be soaked at all. Other legumes, however, should be soaked following 1 or 2 basic soaking methods. Overnight soaking, put the legumes in a pot, cover them in water by 2 inches, and let them soak for 8 hours overnight. Quick soaking, put legumes in a pot on the stove, cover with water, and boil them within 2 minutes. Turn off the heat and let legumes soak for at least an hour or so. Okay. Flatulence, legumes are rich in fiber and complex sugars, which humans cannot digest. Bacteria in the intestines digest these complex sugars, while others are releasing carbon dioxide. The good news is that soaking reduces flatulence-related substances. So if you have intestinal issues with the legumes, soak them definitely will help. Sometimes some people cannot eat beans because they cannot digest them. Okay? Nutrients, when you soak some of the vitamins and minerals, leach into the soaking water. The amount of nutrients lost during the soaking is pretty negotiable though. Interesting, soaking actually increases the nutritional content of protein, fiber, and fewer nutrients, such as thiamine, calcium, and a study published in the Plant Food of Human Nutrition. This differences nutrients and legumes. Okay, to drain or not to drain. Another big question is whether to discard the soaking the water or not. Obviously, this won't matter if you decide not to soak your legumes. However, if you do, you'll be faced with the conflicting opinions once again. I do not like to drain my black eyed peas because they have a lot of flavor in them, especially that bacon. Yes, with some steamed rice and you got a side of collard greens. Oh my goodness. And again, black eyed peas, but that's supposed to resemble the color of the coins. So it has good luck New Year's Eve. Collard greens resemble the green of money. So it's supposed to bring you good fortune. Just FYI. Okay.
I asked that very question to my mom about black eyed peas because we're supposed to eat. You got to eat them because it's going. But I'm like, but why though? Why exactly? I've been searching.
Yeah, for the new year, right? Yeah.
Yes,
but she can't tell me.
Well, the coins. It's supposed to resemble the color of the pennies, you know, the bronze pennies. So money.
Uh-huh.
And the collard greens, you know, dollar bills. Cornbread.
Yes.
Colored gold. So all those three ingredients are supposed to resemble wealth for the future coming up.
Yes.
Cornbread.
I also, chef. Good.
And collard greens. Oh my goodness. Oh, soul food, good to the heart. Anyways, to soak or not to soak, it all depends what you're going to use it for, okay? Cooking them on the stove top, put them in a pot, cover them with at least 2 inches of water, bring it to a boil and remove any foam from that foam, skim out that foam, reduce heat to a bare simmer and cook until tender. Slow cooker, put legumes in a slow cooker and cover them until at least 2 inches of water, add herbs and spices. Pressure cooker, again, put legumes in a pressure cooker and cover them at least 2 inches of water, add your herbs and spices. In the oven, you can also cook them in the oven, but the best way to do them is on the stove top because you can watch them. Because the longer they cook, the water will evaporate. So you got to keep constantly putting water, okay? Or stock. A little history about black beans, okay? A little history. Black beans, botanically known as Phaceolus vulgaris, are native to the Americas. Over 500 varieties of kidney beans. Black beans are also known as turtle beans. Caviar criollo, frijoles negros. These are beans date back to at least 7,000 years with their food staple in the diets of the Central and South Americas. They remain popular food in many households in the Americas. While the black bean is native to the Americas, it has become popular around the world. These beans have become especially popular in contemporary Punjabi cuisine, India, Louisiana, Cajun, and Creole cuisine. Turtle bean has also become a staple. So what is a black bean? The beans are about the size of a pea, about ½ an inch long, slightly less pronounced boat shape common to kidney beans. They have satiny black skin, white center. When cooked, the beans have a creamy texture with a strong, slightly sweet flavor. Throw some bacon in there, some Cajun spice.
Oh my God. My granddaughter loves it. She said, frijolitos, abuela.
Thursday's menu. Here we go, guys. Thursday's menu. You are making rice pilaf. Okay.
Ooh.
It's on the practical. Yesterday was potato puree, right? On Tuesday. Tuesday potato puree is on the practical. Rice pilaf is on the practical. Okay. You're making rice pilaf, risotto, and you're cooking black beans. So you need to soak them the day before. Okay. So make some black beans. Rice pilaf. You need small dice mirepoix, okay? I shouldn't have to explain to you what small dice is, and you should know what mirepoix is all about, okay?
Of course.
Mirepoix, add the rice, okay? Let me see if I can pull the recipes quick. Go over the rice, baby, okay? Day 14. Where you be at? Don't be hiding. Day 14, okay? So day 14, here we go. Rice pilaf, risotto, and black beans. Rice pilaf is on your practical, okay? If you have a challenge making it, you hopefully you can recover and remake it again because it is on the practical. So let's take a look at the recipe, okay? Rice baby, okay? Rice pilaf, you need butter. Clarify butter. We are going to clarify some butter. What does that mean? Put it in your stove top on medium to low heat until the foam comes to the top. Skim off the foam. and the impurities are going to be the bottom. You're going to use the middle part, the yellow part. Okay, that's clarified butter. Okay, onions, carrots, celery, long grain rice. You see that we use jasmine rice. Chicken stock. Okay, so onion, celery, carrots, rice, and butter. Basic ingredients. Sweat the mirepoix in butter. Add rice and coat grains in butter. Do not brown. Okay, so sweat the mirepoix in butter. Add the rice, coat it in butter. Do not brown. Pour the boiling stock. So your stock has to be hot. Boiling stock and season with salt. Taste it and adjust it with salt, because you cannot season the rice after it's cooked. You got to taste it before it goes finish cooking. Okay. Cover the pot lightly and place it in a 350-degree oven. Okay. Bake until the liquid has absorbed and the rice is tender. It takes about 15 minutes to cook the rice pilaf, just about. Okay. Get it out. Open it slightly. If you don't have a lid, use aluminum foil. Open it slightly, but be careful. Don't have a steam burn, because it's going to release a lot of steam. Grab a fork and fork it lightly on top. Make sure it's fluffy. Okay. If it's not, if it's still moist, cover it, put it back in. Okay. And if it's done, set it aside. You're done. Rice pilaf. Okay. So rice pilaf has two cooking methods. First, you saute it, then you bake in the oven. Okay. Rice pilaf. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Risotto. Okay, risotto is going to come up again in the next few blocks. Okay. Chicken stock, hot. Okay. And again, half the recipe, guys. Don't make the full recipe. Okay.
Okay.
Butter. Arborio rice.
Chef, is that arborio rice? That's the one in the jar?
I don't know how it comes. It comes in different containers.
Oh, okay.
It says arborio in the container. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Garlic, Parmesan cheese, whole butter, and salt. Now this one is a little bit different than their rice pilaf, so it's different. Okay. This one you need to.
I noticed that.
Baby, you cannot walk away from it. You cannot sit there stirring it like it's an emulsification, because you're going to break the starchiness and the rice grains. Okay, the kernels.
Okay.
Bring the seasoned stock to a simmer. You're going to sweat the onions and garlic and butter. Okay, so have the stock on the side. Sweat your onions and garlic. Add the rice and toast for about 3 to 4 minutes. Do not brown the rice. We're not making Spanish rice. Increase the heat.
I got you, Chef.
Increase the heat. Add the stock. Slowly and gently stir until the stock is absorbed. Slowly and gently stir. Keep adding the stock at a time, waiting for the rice to absorb the liquid. Do not stop stirring. So, mirepoix, right? Rice, saute, stock, let it stir it until the rice absorbs the liquid, and keep on adding more stock. Okay. Par cook to about 80% and cool if using a later time. So you taste it, not crunchy, but it's al dente. It's got more firmness. Then stop, set it aside, leave it covered. It's going to finish cooking with its own steam. Okay. And then season with butter and the Parmesan cheese. Okay. A little bit of salt. This one you can have salt because it's got still liquid in it. Okay. This is risotto. You're looking for the sucre part of the risotto. S-U-C-R-E. It means when you taste the risotto, so you're supposed to taste that crunchiness from the bottom of the pan. Not burned, but crunchiness. That's a sucre. Okay. A good risotto will have the crunchiness from the sucre from the bottom of the pan to the palate. Okay, the texture. Okay. Let's go take a look.
Again, Chef, have the recipe, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Are easy. You can't mess them up. You need dry beans that have been soaked overnight, water and salt. You may add a bay leaf or two. You may add an onion piqué if you want. Okay. You're gonna pick the beans. Make sure they got any pebbles, any stones. Rinse the beans well before you soak them. Soak them overnight. Okay.
Chef, I have a question really quick.
Go ahead.
I've heard from several people not to add salt while you soak them because it breaks down the skins of the beans.
Yes, don't soak them with salt. You soak them in cold water. Salt is added. Have the beans. Add the soaked beans. Strain them. Add them to the stock pot. Add salt and add your water, and then bring it to a simmer point. Then you add the salt, but not at the beginning.
Okay. Thank you, Chef.
So you put the beans, the water, and the salt together, bring it to a boiling point, drop them to medium to low heat, and simmer until they're nice and tender, and they're done. You can flavor them however you want, okay? I like mine with bacon.
So you said get the dry beans, right? Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So that's your beans, okay? Easy recipe, right?
Yes.
Easy recipe. Okay. Let's take a look at the last day, real quick. Okay. So that's Thursday. On the same page, right, guys?
Yes.
Thursday, we're going to talk about introduction to cooking techniques. You did 2 last week. Remember those? What did you deep fry last week?
Saute.
Yeah, saute, the glazed carrots, and what else?
Fry.
And then fry the French fries.
Fried potatoes, right.
You got 2 underneath your belt already, okay? So basic French cooking techniques. You got flambéing, but remember I talked about using an alcoholic ingredient and not to incorporate the flavors into your pan because you're going to transfer the flavor of the natural gas into your item. Sauteing, which we did yesterday on the glazed carrots. Poaching, like eggs Benedict, right? A little bit of water, some vinegar. You crack the egg, put it in, and poach it in a very low simmer water. Broiling, almost as grilling. Braising, when you do a pot stew. And baking, okay? Also, you got barbecuing, pan frying, stir frying, shallow frying, deep frying, roasting, and searing. Different kind of cooking techniques because we're going to be doing those from now on, okay?
Chef, may I ask what's the difference between pan frying and shallow frying?
So pan frying is the shallow frying is like sauteing. Pan frying is when you coat the item halfway through with oil.
Okay, thank you, Chef.
Shallow frying is when like you use less oil than that, okay? So poaching is a moist heat cooking technique that involves cooking by submerging food in a liquid such as water, milk, stock, or wine. Poaching is different from the other moist heat cooking methods such as simmering and boiling that it uses a relatively low temperature, about 160 to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. This temperature range makes it particularly suitable for delicate foods such as an egg, poultry, fish, or fruit, okay? Which might easily fall apart or dry out using cooking methods. Poaching is something considered as a healthy method of cooking because it does not use fat to cook or flavor the food. It uses water, court bouillon, chicken stock, whatever kind of stock you want to use, okay? Roasting, we know roasting, Thanksgiving, right? You pop that turkey in the oven and roast it and baste it, right? Roasting is a direct heat that is applied to the food. The heat seals the outside of the part of the food and the juice inside the food cooks the food. Roasting is mainly used when cooking fleshy foods like fish, meat or chicken, prime rib, roast rib, turkey, roast pork. When the heat is applied to the water outer covering the food, it seals up, thereby trapping all the juices inside the food. The action of direct heating heats up the juices inside the food, which then cooks the food. Again, there's very little nutrient lost in the flavor of and not spoiled. Food is frequently rotated over the spit so that there is an even heating applied to all parts of the food. Also, the heat is applied evenly when the food is making more cooked more evenly. Okay. Sauteing. We did that last week briefly on the glazed carrots. The word saute, pronounced saute, refers to a form of dry heat cooking. Uses a very hot pan with a small amount of fat to cook the food very quickly. Like other dry cooking methods, sauteing browns the food on the surfaces as it cooks and develops complex flavors and aromas. When sauteing, it's important to get the pan very hot. Add the fat or butter oil, let it get hot as well before adding the food to the pan. The hot food helps coat the food so the surface will brown evenly. Another key is to avoid overloading and overcrowding the pan. In order to achieve a desired browning of the food, the pan needs to stay hot throughout the cooking process. Too much food in the pan dissipates the heat, causing the food to steam or boil rather than to saute. Okay. Finally, when you saute, you want to keep the food moving. The word saute actually means jump in French, tossing or flipping the food when the pan ensures that it cooks evenly. Also helps them with the pan hot. Reason it's important to keep the food moving around is that when the hot thing meets the cooler thing, the temperature eventually meets in the middle. The cooler thing grows warmer and the hot cools down, so it cooks evenly. To illustrate, imagine a pan with green beans cooking in it. The beans at the bottom of the pan, closest to the heat source, are nice and hot, while the ones on the top, where the exposed to the air, are cooler. And the longer they'll sit, like this, the greater will the disparity in the temperature becomes. So far, so good. However, you're eventually going to want to cook the beans on top too. Once that you flip them over, the ones on the top come into the contact with the advanced surface, and because they're cooler, they eventually lower the temperature of the pan. Okay, so to saute, if you have no practice, okay, when you saute at home, you don't actually want to have to toss the food in run in the pan, right? Because you're going to make a huge mess. Grab a cold saute pan, add some dry beans, and move that motion back and forth. Get used to it, okay? That's how to practice. If you don't have any black beans, do a little slice of bread on your pan and then flip it, okay? That's, you get the motion of sauteing. Practice before you actually cook, all right? Here we go. And this little video, how to saute, I don't know. I didn't have it here. I think I have somewhere in the link. Pan frying means sauteing. So what is pan frying? Again, you have enough amount of oil to cover half the product, okay? You got also polar. It means to cook in fat, okay? Pot roasting or butter braising. This cooking method is crossed between roasting and braising. It does not use any moisture on the atom, whole bird, or joint. It is smeared with butter and placed in the pot with a lid on it. The sediment is formed to use for the juice. A method of cooking easily converted into a pot, in the cover pot, where the food is cooked and their own juices. Also refer us to butter roasting. So polar is butter roasting. Butter and then cover it, okay? Frying, we know about frying. We deep fried yesterday, last week, the French fries, right? Just be careful what you fry, because when you put up vegetables, you need to hold them one at a time and then put them in the frying oil. And as they float, let them go gently so they float, okay? So we know about frying. Anytime you fry, your temperature, the oil needs to be at 350 degrees. Remember that. So when you fry, 350, okay? Shallow frying. Shallow frying, food is cooked in a frying pan with a little amount of oil or fat. Oil or fat is heated the correct amount, and the food is put on the heat oil. The food is turned over a few minutes or is stirred around a couple of times before it is cooked and dished out. If the patties, potato chips, or coated foods are fried, it is best to use a piece of brown paper bag napkin on the side of the tray so you can soak up the oil and then let it drain. And of course, we know deep frying, the French fries last week, okay? Potato chips, chicken fingers, okay? Grilling. Two methods of grilling that are used in these days. One type of grilling is one commonly used by the people in the village. When the food is cooked over a hot charcoal open fire, the food is placed on top of the burning charcoal. Sometimes people improvise by using a wire mesh or place an open fire grill or fish or vegetables. So in the grilling, your grill is not going to have all even heat. You got to make sure the grill is clean and make sure that you get nice and hot, and then lower the flame and then find out which part of your grill is the hottest one. Sometimes the middle, sometimes the farthest back, okay? So at grill at work, we used to turn it on, let it get hot, and use the grill brush to brush it, remove all the debris from the grill. And we use a wet towel, okay, bring a little bit, twirl it, and then slap the grill in between the grates. We call that mopping the grill, okay? That's a culinary terminology. Because when you mop the grill, you brush it, right? That's fine and dandy. But when you mop it, you remove all the little impurities, the metal, the dust, all the dust that's in the grates, you remove it. So when you slap the grill with a ring towel, you look at the towel, it's all blessed, covered with soot because it's all in between the grill. So we call that technique mopping the grill. So first you turn on and get nice and hot, brush it with a stainless steel brush, and then wring the towel nice and wet, and then flip and hit it like you're slapping the grill. We call that mopping the grill, okay? Braising, from the French word braisier, combination of cooking method that uses both moist and dry heats. Typically, the food is seared at a high temperature. When finished, covered in a pot at lower temperature while sitting in some variable amount of liquid. May also have flavor. Braising a meat is often referred to as pot roasting. Remember the video of week 1? We saw the guy make the beef bourguignon. That was a braising method.
Oh my God, that was so good.
Yeah, but it was dirty.
That's true.
Other cooking methods, okay? You got other cooking methods too. You got baking, okay? Baking method of cooking is the food cooked using convection heating. The food is put in the enclosed air where the heat is then applied to the moving heat in a confined space. Steaming, okay? Steam food, water is added to the pot. Then a stand is placed on the inside of the pot. Usually, when if you don't have a steamer, you can use a wok. You use one of those bamboo steamers. Put the bottom on the steamer on the wok, and it's not going to sit all the way down. It's going to be above the water. Put your items, cover it, and then put it on high, and the steam is going to steam your veggies. Okay. So steaming is another way of cooking, not in direct heat, but with a hot steam coming out of the boiling water. Other moist heat cooking methods. Liquid is used as a medium to cook food, such as medium could be water, coconut cream, or oil. Liquids are added to the food before heat is applied, or sometimes heat is applied to the liquid before food is added. Okay. Boiling. We know what boiling. We're going to boil some potatoes, right? It has to be completely submerged in water. You have to bring it to a boiling point and drop the heat so it doesn't roll and boil. Okay. Stewing. In the process of cooking with stewing method, food is cooked using a lot of liquid. Different types of vegetables are chopped, diced or cubed, and added to the pot. Sometimes pieces of selected meat or fish or chicken is also chopped and added to the stew. The liquid is slightly thickened. The stew food is served in that manner. Method is also used in the preparing of fruits that are going to be served as desserts. The cooking method is every food is cooked together in the same time in the one pot. The flavor, colors, and shapes and different vegetables that are used makes a stewing handy method of cooking. Okay. So stewing is like when you make chicken pot pie. That can be considered stewing too. Okay. Barbecuing. It's all about the dry rub, not about the base. Not about that base. Right. Base. All right. Whatever. Barbecuing.
I love barbecue.
Barbecuing. Method of cooking by barbecue usually associated with fundraising activities, parties, and picnics. Again, I usually cover barbecuing in regionals extensively, more into it, in the history of barbecuing. Okay? Like the word barbecue, where did it come from? Where did it originate? Okay? When the Spanish arrived in the States, Native Americans were in South Texas were barbacoa. They were using the cooking in the term called barbacoa. They adopted it as barbecue. In the South, it was a combination of 3 different words. Bar, bar, pig, and pool, something like that is barbecuing. So, we'll set that for another day, okay? So basting, when you baste your turkey, it's in the oven, you grab a little syringe looking contraption, you extract some water, you pour it on top, that's basting, okay? What else? Let's talk about chicken fabrication, okay? Chicken fab is happening this day, okay? I showed you guys a glimpse on week 1 to make the chicken stock, okay? Chicken fabrication identification. On the whole bird, you got the giblets inside, the leg quarter, the drumstick, the thigh, the ham, the breast, tenderloin, the wings, mid joint, wing tip, gizzard, and liver, okay? Different cuts. I was able to get 14 cuts out of my whole bird on week 1, okay? Chicken cuts. You got the whole chicken, or wag, it is called in the industry. A whole bird with that giblets, without all the parts, including the breast, thighs, drumsticks, wings, and abdominal fat. You got the quarter wag. A 4-piece is 2 breast quarters, half a breast with back and wing attached, 2 leg quarters, drumstick, thigh and back, all attached. The tail and abdominal fat may not be present. 8-piece. 8-piece is 2 complete breasts with the back and rib portions, 2 drumsticks, 2 thighs, and the back portion with 2 wings. Tenderloin, you saw me pick it out that last week, right? The thigh, you saw me separate it. You also saw me separate the drumstick. Okay. Chicken cuts, the whole wing with the two joints, right? The first wing section is described as a wing drumette, the little drumette. Second wing section is described as the wing portion. Wing sections are equally equal portions in wing and drumettes. You got the breast fillet, the whole or half of the breast. Tenders as chicken fingers, and again the legs. Okay. Let's talk about blanching vegetables, okay? Because you're gonna blanch some asparagus this day, okay? So blanching vegetables is you have boiling water with about a teaspoon of salt. Okay, you have your green asparagus. You drop them in for about 2-4 minutes. You fish them out and shock them in ice water, right? You add the salt to the water. Make sure you add the salt to the water because the salt in the water has a reverse osmosis that it keeps the vegetables green. It doesn't give them flavor. It traps the flavors inside the veggie. Okay. If you blanch some asparagus with no salt, they're going to turn olive green. It's got a chemical reaction. It's going to turn it olive green, so keep it nice and green. To prepare the asparagus, bend the base or snap the woody bottom. I cut them. I'll show you how to cut them. Okay. To guarantee the most tender results, bring the large pan of salted water to boil. Salted water. Carefully lower the asparagus to the boiling water. Leave it to cook 2 to 4 minutes, depending on the thickness of the stems. Using tongs to remove the asparagus and plunge it into ice water for at least 5 minutes. This will stop the cooking process and preserve the color. 5, drain the asparagus on the kitchen paper. Okay. And this little link here. Okay. It does have a. God, this dog is that. Ew, he smells. I think he just farted. Really? Yeah, I'm sitting here like, oh, dude. Okay. I'm going to copy this link and post it on the chat.
Maybe he wants to go for a walk, Chef.
There's a link on how to blanch asparagus, right, guys? I would suggest go check it out on the chat, okay? Because I'm running out of time, so that's for you guys to watch, okay? So Friday's menu, you're going to fabricate a chicken. You are going to French cut that chicken breast, okay? You're going to saute that chicken breast, skin side down first, okay? French cut, I will show you guys on Friday how to French cut the chicken. So you're gonna need a whole bird on that part because you're gonna French cut it, okay?
Chef.
Yes.
Is that just butterfly?
No. That is French cut, okay? So yes, you're gonna. Oh, let me go back. I got the wrong one. Here you go. Okay. Nope, not that. Where's it? Right here. Okay. So you're gonna French cut the chicken breast, okay? By French cutting meaning you're gonna have the whole bird. I'm gonna show you how to remove the breast and how to French cut it. How to have the little wing exposed, the little wing bone, okay? It's very simple, very easy. Okay, very easy. You're not gonna, trust me guys, it's really easy to French cut. So French cut means you have the base of the chicken wing with the armpit sits with a little bit of meat on it, and the wing is nice and clean and exposed. That's French cut. You're gonna saute it with the skin side down first, so there needs to be an adequate amount of skin on that chicken. Adequate amount. Because when you're gonna turn upside down, it's gonna have a golden brown color in the skin. The skin is to protect the meat from not drying it out. Also has enough fat. It's gonna give flavor to the chicken meat, the chicken breast. So very important to leave the chicken as much skin on the breast as possible. But the wing has to be exposed, okay? You're gonna blanch some asparagus. So watch that video that I posted on the chat about blanching asparagus, okay? You're gonna make rice pilaf. Okay, now you know, right? You're gonna make rice pilaf on during that week at the beginning. You're also gonna, you're gonna fabricate the chicken and you're gonna blanch some asparagus. This is when you start assembling your plates. This is when your presentation comes in handy. This is where the middle of the plate with height that I was talking about the week 1, how to present. This is where it comes in handy. And I'm gonna work with you guys, fabricating the chicken. I'm gonna saute in front of you guys. I'm gonna cook my rice pilaf. I'm gonna plate it. I'm gonna blanch my asparagus. I'm gonna show you all that hand on hand, okay?
Thank you, Chef. Wow.
Are you gonna taste the chef?
I'm sure gonna taste it. Okay. So I'm gonna
make sure.
I'm gonna taste it too. Okay. So that's your menu on Friday. Now what you need on Friday is again the same ingredients utilized at the beginning: rice, onion, celery, carrots, butter. Right? Now you're gonna need asparagus and a whole bird. Okay. So this is on Friday. Remember, this dish right here is going to be on the practical. Okay. Mine is asparagus.
Oh.
So this is your time to narrow it down, practice it, and get enough pan because you're going to do it again for the practical. Okay.
Okay.
So let's take a look at what the bill is all about for this week. All right. Make sure that it matches your ingredients for your menus. And let's go to week 3. That's week 2. Week 3, shopping list. I'm gonna pull it up. Here we go. Okay. So you have your chicken stock, right? If you need some more, you can use the carcass of the chicken on Friday and make chicken stock, all right? For the rice pilaf on that day. So you need a whole chicken. Space 2 chickens, you need 1. You don't need 2, okay?
Okay.
Only 1 chicken, because you only need 1 chicken breast. So 1 whole chicken,
Okay.
okay? Dairy products, you need butter, heavy cream, eggs, and Parmesan. Remember using eggs, Parmesan on the Duchesse potatoes, right? Using heavy cream for your vichyssoise, right? Right, so you need those ingredients. Produce, you need leeks for the vichyssoise. Russet potatoes. Chives, if you can't find them, don't worry about it. You can use green onions, okay? Potatoes, new potatoes. That says ½ pound, but you can utilize the russet as well for your potato salad. The new potatoes are for your potato salad. If you can't find them, just go universal. Use all russet. I don't have new potatoes, so I'm gonna use all russet. Celery, green onions. Don't worry about radishes. I'm not gonna worry about that. Parsley, fine. If you don't worry about it. Onions you need, garlic, mushrooms, basil, oregano, okay? Carrots, asparagus. If you can't find asparagus, green beans will suffice, okay? Nutmeg, salt, which you should have. Don't worry about olive oil. Okay, if you already bought it, cool. If you don't, canola oil is fine, okay? AP flour, okay, semolina, white wine. If you cannot, if you're not 21, don't worry about the white wine. It is used for the risotto, but we're not going to worry about it. So don't go out and spend, you know, $20 a bottle of white wine. Okay. Cornmeal, polenta. If you cannot find polenta, we're going to use cornmeal all the way around. Black beans, long grain rice, aka jasmine rice, arborio rice. Okay, that is pretty much it, right? Plain and simple ingredients, right, guys? They match what we have on the recipes, correct? Okay.
Yes, they do.
There's nothing there that does not match. Okay. So that is your menus for this week. That is your list of ingredients. Okay. Like I said, on the potato salad, I'm not going to worry about all the ingredients. I don't care about the radishes. That you can use them for garnish, but it's up to you. Okay. Like I said, I personally like to use celery salt, Hidden Ranch Valley dressing, powder mix. Okay. So that's your menu.
So the Hidden Valley ranch dressing, good.
Yeah, I like my, you know, we're in Texas. You gotta have ranch dressing in potato salad, right? Mayonnaise, you can buy the Hellmann's Miracle Whip. You want to make it fresh, Mr. Larry, go ahead. If not, I'm okay with that. Okay. So those are your menus for today. Now you have rice pilaf coming at you. You have the fabrication of the chicken. You got asparagus. 3 items are going to be on your 4 and mashed potatoes. 4 items are going to be on your practical. Okay, this week. Okay. Do you have any questions about this week's menus and recipes and ingredients? Remember recipes?
How many potatoes did you say that we needed from the russet?
You need 4 potatoes. You need 1 for the mash, 1 for the Duchesse, 1 for the potato salad, and 1 for the vichyssoise.
Yes, thank you, chef.
Okay. And again, you guys know small dice, medium dice. So when it tells you that, you should know what all that is all about. Okay. So again, that train is already gone. It's last week. We talked about the knife cuts, so you should be well versed in those knife cuts. We talk about stocks. You're going to run out of stock, so utilize the carcass from the chicken on Friday to make more stock. Okay. Any questions, guys? Any thoughts? Like I said, you can always text. Okay.
Okay. The brand for the gluten-free flour is called Aunties. AUNTIES brand. Aunties brand. If you're interested in gluten-free flour, it's at Make It Sweet, or you can I'm sure go online and order it from that way. But I would recommend you trying it. Don't buy a lot of it. Make sure you adjust and what you like, and then you can order more. I always try to do a sample before I get a bulk version.
So there you go, guys. Easy and simple, but it's going to build up for Friday. Now you're assembling a whole entire dish. Now you're assembling a plate, right? So any questions?
Getting ready for that presentation.
Yes, Chef.
When it comes up.
Okay. And like I said, I'll be, yes, Mr. Jeffrey, go ahead.
The semolina flour. I just called grocery stores around town where I live, and no one has it. What do I do for tomorrow?
Bread flour.
Huh?
Bread flour.
Okay, thank you, Chef.
Same technique, but like I said, it's going to be a little more tricky to work with. Okay.
Okay.
All right, but it's about the technique. All right, guys. So if you have no questions, guys, you're more than welcome to be dismissed. Okay. If you do have questions, email, text. I know I was texting some of you guys over the last week, off and on, late in the evening about certain items. So don't be afraid. Reach out, okay, guys? Reach out. Okay, that's what we're here for, you guys. All right. If not,
one last question I have.
Sure, Mr. Jeffrey.
The word knowledge checks that we're supposed to have done, the conversion knowledge check, we can't get to them till October 28th.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check on that one right now as we speak, because that's the nation that it was found. So let me go find out what all that is about, okay? And I'll fix it for you guys, all right?
Yeah, Chef.
Yeah, because I did the first one, but then I can't do no more. It's like, wow.
Well, Chef Miguel will check on that. And remember, quite a bit on our talk today, a lot to take in. I hope you took some notes to help you,
Yes.
even though we've got the recipes on the portal, just going through step by step of the ingredients that you need and make sure that you have it. As Jeffrey asked, if you couldn't get semolina flour, what is the flour that you can use? Remember? So those are the things that I want you to pay attention to, and step by step. It's really important to be here, visual. It really helps you, and it helps everybody in the class really in the long run, because if you paid attention, then you've got things in writing and you don't have to ask that many questions. Also, not that we don't want them, we want them, but we want you to feel comfortable on the journey that you're going to be doing, and step by step.